Hi.
What?
Yeah, diva. Because I'm a diva. Yes, girl, I lied.
Do 100!
Unique.
Oh, wow.
You're now entering Diva Dash. Hi, guys. Welcome to a new Diva Dash in a different location. Well, it's my apartment still, but I have been spending all of my time here. If you are new here, I am Scot Louie, the director of the Divas. And if you're not new here, you guys know that I am injured right now. So I don't know what this Diva Dash is about to look like. I don't know what the rest of my life is about to look like, but I figured it would be silly of me not to document this time in my life because it is such a vast difference from how I operate. I'm always doing a dash. You know what I'm saying? I'm always ripping and running. I'm always moving. And God has really sat me down. God has really sat me down, and I am forced to sit with my thoughts. But you know what? More than anything, I'm sitting with the word. And I think that I have been not running away from it, but I've definitely not been doing what I'm supposed to. And now that I have been forced to sit down, I'm seated. And I'm seated with the word. I am currently watching last week's Diva Dash, and I'm just like, wow, I was just so vibrant and exuberant and excited to be in Chicago and having the time of my life. And just like even the small things, like watching myself walk to the hotel room door to get water, I was like, wow, if I could just walk again. So before I even dig deeper into this Diva Dash, and this is literally just going to be a document journal of my life and my recovery process, let's just be thankful for all of our functions. Like, let's take this moment together as a divahood, okay? If you are new here, welcome to the Divahood. Welcome to the Diva Universe. Let us take this moment to be grateful for the movement in our fingers, the ability to see and hear, to taste and smell, right? All of our cognitive functions, okay? All of our ability to speak, all of our neurological functions. Okay, if you are able to walk, if you are able to breathe, let us all just take this moment and be grateful, because it can happen to the best bitch. It's happened to the best bitch, okay? They done sat your girl down. They done sat the queen down. So let's just take this moment to be thankful for all of the things that we sometimes don't say thank you for. The ability to walk, the ability to talk, when to drink, when to speak, when to eat, okay? Let's just take this moment and be grateful for all of those things, and be grateful for friends who show up and support and who give love and who check in on you, because wow, I have received an outpouring of love and support during this time, from places I didn't even expect to get it from. So, it's really wonderful. And, then there are places where I thought I'd get it from that I didn't quite. And that's fine too. Anyway, let me show you my remedy. First of all, let me show you my knee. Okay, so here's my unimpacted knee. And here is my impacted knee. It is extremely swollen. As you can see, it's very swollen. The thing is, though, I can move it, and I can touch it. It's not tender to the touch and stuff. It's just a lot of swelling around it. At times when it's in a position for too long, it does hurt. It feels numb when it's in a position for too long. Please don't mind my nails, girl. I need to get a fill and a pedicure and a haircut, okay? Like, this is another, you know what? Let me finish talking about the knee before I start talking about that. So yeah, this is how she's looking. She's, as you can see, she's extremely swollen. So yeah, this is where we're at with it. I am about to put these lidocaine patches on it. And my friend brought me this thing. It's called Volatrin. it is an arthritis pain gel. So I've been using that, and then I also wear a knee stabilizer from Copperfit. It's a Copperfit knee stabilizer. And I've been using a lot of heating. Like I bought this heating pad and I just wrapped the knee in it and let it get heated up. I haven't been icing it as much. I'm about to actually do that today because I've been really leaning on the heat. It's so soothing. But yeah, I'm also on 600 milligram ibuprofen. I've been taking these turmeric and these turmeric supplements because, you know, turmeric is good for joints. Turmeric ginger shots, turmeric ginger tea, turmeric ginger bone broth. You know, just anything that I think will help with joints, but also with collagen and things like that. Let me show you my face now. So yeah, I've been also drinking a ton of water. This is just this morning. I've been trying to get through a gallon of water a day. Also, I know being super hydrated will help with the recovery process. So I'm trying to do everything possible and proper during this time. You know, here is my bad habit. I will tell you one thing though, girl. Because I'm not able to cook and I'm ordering all of my meals, I have thrown all fucks to the wind. I used to say this all the time. I was like, God knew not to make me an actual woman. You know, I'm a diva, but I'm not an actual woman. God knew better than that because one, I probably would have a fuck ton of children right now. Save your judgment. But two, actually, I probably have a fucking word in my mind. I probably wouldn't have no kids. Anyway, but I used to say it all the time. I'm like, if I were a woman, I would be literally 2 days pregnant and be like, I need to be on bed rest and I'm just going to eat everything inside. I would be the bitch who gains 150 pounds pregnant. No questions asked. I'm the person, like, don't get me wrong. You know me, I do me. And obviously I'm no small thing. But I do have a degree of restraint. I'm telling you this now. If I were an actual woman and I were pregnant, I'm eating everything. And I'm trying all the bullshit. Like, I'm talking about, I'd be the person who probably get, like, hypertension while pregnant. Like, my doctor would be like, bitch, you have to stop eating if you want to bring this baby to term. Because I'm eating everything in sight. Whatever I want. And currently, yeah, I'm doing that. I have ordered the chicken from Monte Sacro 4 times this week. It's like a spatchcock brick pressed chicken with the broccoli rabe. It's like, you know, the bitterness of broccoli rabe, and it's like brick pressed with a charred lemon. It's wonderful. Now, granted, that's not bad. That's not bad. What is bad is the fact that I'm eating Snickers. What is bad is the fact that I've ordered frozen yogurt twice this week. That's what's bad. Is like the sweet tooth is out of this world. You know, but I'm not doing crazy. I mean, granted, I did just order a bagel sandwich. But, yeah. I'm trying not to go all fucks to the wind because I'm not able to be active. Like, I'm very sedentary right now. Obviously. Hold on, I gotta adjust. Ugh. This is what I mean. Like, when my leg is in a position for too long, it starts to just get, like, numb because I'm not moving it as much as possible. Let me turn my heater on. Whew. This is so funny. And I mean, I said it in last week's dash, but it makes me think of my mother so much. Okay, one of my deliveries is here. Hold on. I think that might be my bagel sandwich. But yeah, it makes me think of my mother so much because, yeah, that's my bagel sandwich. Because she troubles with knee pain and she has to, like, our house has this large staircase and, you know, she's not by herself. My sister's there, but love my sister, but she's not much help, you know? So it makes me think of my mom all the time, like how she's dealt with this knee pain. And it's so funny because it's also her left knee. And I'm like, is this God trying to tell me something? Like during this time, I'm like, what is there for me to know? What is there for me to learn? So that's that. I have decided that since I'm not able to go out to events and do things and do glam and, you know, do the things that I would say add fun to the vlogs, I'm going to do a Q&A. So I'm going to leave some questions on Instagram or one of the question boxes on Instagram and one of the question boxes on TikTok. And I'm going to answer them in this video. So I'll probably post that today. It's Sunday. So I'll post that maybe today and then again on Wednesday so that I can answer it and respond. But let me get on my crutches and hobble over to the front door so I can collect my bagel sandwich. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We've collected the goods. In addition to the Q&A, I think I'm going to do what I like to call chapters of Diva. So we're going to start with chapter 1. And chapter 1 is going to be the start of my life and career. So, chapter 1. Hold on, my groceries are here. Ooh, everything's happening all at once. Which means I need to hobble back to the door to get my groceries. I'll be back. I really want to take a bite of my bagel sandwich, sausage, egg, and cheese. Kidding me? A little scallion cream cheese. Woo! I wasn't really feeling for bacon. I was feeling for sausage today. Because this place, I like their sausage patties. Like, it's almost like a chicken apple sausage. You know, so it has a little bit of that sweetness to it. And then I get the scallion cream cheese. On the egg bacon. Okay. Be right back. That was a process. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. Chapter 1. So, for those of you who don't know, I am from Brooklyn, New York. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York to a single mother. Jamaican by heritage. When I was 15, my sister was born, and my mom bought a house on Eastern Long Island near Riverhead. Okay? So I went to high school on Long Island. During that time, a bit angsty, but very well aware of what I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to be a fashion designer. So I enrolled in a trade program. In that trade program, I learned very quickly that I'm not going to be a fashion designer because I hated draping. I hated pattern making. I didn't have the technical skills, and I wasn't really good at rendering. I don't have the skills to draw. I could see in my head what I wanted something to look like, but I couldn't bring it to life. I didn't have those skills. So from there, my mentor was like, there's other avenues in fashion you could explore. And I always knew that there were things that I could explore. I've always loved the world of styling. I loved Rachel Zoe. I loved June Ambrose. I loved Marni Senefonte. And I knew, okay, I could also be that. I could also do that. But I wanted to create the clothing. I wanted to be the big dog, you know? And also, again, I'm from New York. So hip hop is I'm from Brooklyn. Hip hop is the backdrop of everything I do, you know? 90s bad boy is the backdrop of everything I know. So, I decide I'm going to be a stylist. Takes bite of sandwich. So yes, I decide I'm going to be a stylist. And I've always been very arrogant. I've always been very self-assured. So at the time, excuse me. There's a bagel in my teeth, girl. So at the time, I was like, okay, where do I begin? How do I become a stylist? I'm on Google doing the research, all of the things and stuff. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be a stylist, I just need a client who's very rich. I'll just take their credit card and go buy all of the clothes. That's exactly how that didn't happen. Right? So I took a meeting, which honestly, it's so interesting. Because I think about it, my life has come full circle, and this will all make sense soon. But I took a meeting at this agency called Ken Barboza. And I took a meeting with Ken Barboza. Mind you, I'm still in high school at this point. Mind you, I think I was in 8th grade at this point. I took the train into the city. Who do I think I am? I took the train into the city. No, I'm skipping ahead here. Hold on. Let's roll that back. I get on Craigslist. That's where it started. I get on Craigslist, and they had like a portion on Craigslist where you could do like I think it was like gigs or like creative or something like that. I start looking at all of the things where it's like looking for a stylist. I was like Googling like stylist jobs, fashion stylist jobs, wardrobe stylist jobs. And that's how I stumbled upon the Craigslist. And it's like, these jobs are non-paying. It's for trade. It's an opportunity to build a book. And I'm like, okay, I need to build my book. So I start doing a ton of these shoots. Mind you, this is very, very risky. I'm 15, 16 years old, getting on the Long Island Railroad into the city on weekends. I'm supposed to be up at the mall. I'm supposed to be up at the mall. My mom thinks I'm down at the mall. Anything could happen to me. And this is also in the time of the Craigslist killer. Okay? Anything could happen to me. I was supposed to be up to the mall. So I start doing these shoots, and I remember them like, in fact, if I have any pictures, I'll pop them on the screen. So I'm doing all of these shoots, you know, getting all of these clothes. And these are like H&M clothes, you know, my little part-time job. I'm buying little shitty clothes and stuff. And then I start realizing, okay, you have to get clothing from showrooms. So then I start reaching out to these showrooms. A lot of them are declining me, but I'm reaching out to like the PR companies that, you know, Fendi and stuff like that. No responses. But then like the smaller showrooms, which I don't even know if they do multi-brand showrooms like that anymore, but like the smaller young brands. I remember one of them was, one of the brands that I used to pull from all the time was a brand called Black Halo. I don't know if they exist anymore. I had the PR contact for, I believe the place was called Route 29. They had shoes, clothing, jewelry, so I could go there and get everything. And I'm talking, this is in the era of paparazzi earrings, printed blouses, pussy bow tops, mini skirts, like, you know, that very Alice and Olivia kind of look. You know, or like rompers with like mesh paneling and stuff, big chunky boots. I had these knockoff version of the, what is his name? Jeffrey Campbell Lita. The studded Litas. I had a knockoff version that I got from Chinese Laundry. Chinese Laundry used to send me stuff all the time. There's also this other place. Oh my God. There was also this other shoe brand that used to do all of these like designer knockoffs. I don't even think they exist anymore. They used to send me shoes all the time. My God. I'm sure if I go through my old email, I can find it. But yeah. So, you know, I was very resourceful and very hungry. Like, spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, endless hours emailing. Like, emailing in class. I had a BlackBerry. Emailing in class. Emailing on the bus. Emailing at home. Like, all the time, just trying to get clothes, trying to set up shoots. Like, hungry. Like, really, really, really hungry for it. So, I start building my book and stuff. And I think at the time, I think I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm really actually, like, I have a solid book. In fact, hold on. I feel like I can go find that book. Oh no, I think it's at my mom's house. But my mom found the book. Like, I had all of these 8x11s printed out, and it was interesting. So after a while, I was like, I don't want to test anymore. I need a celebrity client. Like, I knew what I wanted to be. The Rachel Zoe Project is showing on television, and I'm still in high school at this point. I'm like, I don't want to test anymore. I want red carpet. I want to take it to the moon now. Like, I want a big dog. So I'm like, how am I going to get clients? I need to get in front of a celebrity. So I start creating mood boards on, it used to be this app on my laptop called, it was like Google Pics or something like that. Like, Google had this app where you could create collages. So I would save all of these images and I would email it to all these people. I'm talking about, I was emailing Beyonce's publicist, everybody's team. Like, Twitter had also just become a thing, so a lot of people had like their team's info in their bio, and like it wasn't really hard to find people's PR person or their assistant or something. So I stumbled across Little Kim's assistant, and he had his email in his bio, and also it said assistant to Little Kim. So I shit you not, I think I emailed this man like 2 years straight. And then he was like, he would respond every now and then, and he was like, oh, I'll show this to her, this looks great, yada, yada, yada. Like, he was very, very kind, Noel. And he was like, I remember the email, I was in Brooklyn now. I was in Brooklyn that weekend. I was in senior year of high school. And he was like, Kim wants to give you a chance. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, okay. So I called him on the phone and he told me what it was going to be and what was going on. And this was like shortly after Christmas. It was right before my birthday. And we did our first fitting on my 18th birthday. And we were at a hotel in New Jersey. And she was like 3 hours late. And my best friend, it's so funny, my best friend was styling Monica at the time. And he connected me with this girl, Shamika. Because she was cousins of his client or something along those lines. And he connected me with her. And she was my assistant for the day. And we were in this hotel room for like 3 hours waiting. And then she finally arrived. And when I tell you, that was the first time, though, I saw the power of celebrity. Because Kim, like, I would email all these people and get no responses. Once I said, oh, I'm styling Little Kim, that's when I really started getting some responses. Like, I remember the first outfit I put her into. It was this pink Sachika. There were these Asian twins, and they were busting it around New York. Like they were really the hottest. They were one of the hottest young brands around New York. They were Sachika. And it was these two, I want to say they were Japanese. They were some form of Asian. And the brand was called Sachika. And it was this pink Sachika romper. And it had like a black mesh panel. And she wore Alexander Wang jewelry and these Alexander Wang boots. Hey y'all, Diva editing. I just went and found the photos of that look and just remembered being super upset then, and I got upset all over again because she didn't wear the jewelry or the shoes that I had pulled from the fitting. She ended up putting these pumps on with these tights and this jewelry that I have no idea where this jewelry came from because we had Wang jewelry. Okay, so you'll see the pictures, but I remember being upset about it then, and I'm upset all over again. I went to Alexander Wang's offices, and Alex was there having a meeting with his team, and I saw his long, luscious hair, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, Alexander Wang is right there. I'm going to pull. And, like, this is at the point where Alexander Wang is, like, you know, killing it. Like, he's dressing Zoe Kravitz regularly. And, like, I even remember the guy who was letting me pull, his name was Cameron. And Cameron was like, oh, we can't let you pull that. Zoe just wore it. And I was like gagged. Like, this is the first time I'm in a big showroom with a big client. I'm like, oh no, I'm really doing it. Like, bitch, I'm Scot Louie. Fuck you talking about? Like, bitch, I'm me, 100 on the wrist, I skate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here, honey. So when I finally pulled up to the fitting and Kim saw those boots, she was like, oh, these is hot. I gotta have blank bodies for me, because she was dating somebody at the time, so like really famous. So she was like, I gotta have bodies for me. And I was like, oh, sir, bitch. And I was like, oh, this is fab. Like, I just thought I was really that. Like, I was really feeling my ooh-ah, you know? And, like, Kim was really impressed, which made me really happy. You know, and then she kept calling me back for things. And, like, we did 106 in Park. We did Rip the Runway. And I was like, okay, like, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really doing this. But also, I'm at a point now where my life is starting to shift, you know? Like, I'm 18. I'm supposed to be going off to college, you know? And I didn't want to go to college for fashion. I wanted to go to college for culinary school. My mom did not want me to go to college for culinary school. Like, my life is such a... So, yeah. Excuse me. My lip is peeling. So, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm going to go away to school. I skipped a big chapter in chapter 1. Because before I even landed Little Kim as a client, there was the 17, because I got that call on Thanksgiving. There was a 17-year-old version of me. So on Craigslist, let's get back a little bit. I'm so sorry I did this, because now it's out of order. While I was still in my Craigslist era, I connected with a stylist, and she was looking for an assistant. And I was like, okay, this is my only time I've ever assisted. She was looking for an assistant, and I assisted her on a test shoot for a Columbia Records artist. I'd never heard of this bitch before. And you know what the funny thing is? She never made it. And neither did the stylist, now that I think about it. Anyway, so we did the shoot, and she was like, I'm really impressed with your work ethic. I can always use help. I'm a stylist around the city. And I'm like, yeah, please, you know, hungry, wide-eyed, ready to go. So, at the time, this was season two of The Real Housewives of New Jersey had just finished. One of the cast members was Danielle Staub. And Danielle was doing a show on a network, and I forgot the name of the show. I think it was called Selfish or no, that was Kim Kardashian's selfie book. It was kind of like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. She would go tour all of these homes, and she would do all of these things or whatever. And the stylist was her stylist, and I was the assistant. Long story short, they got their wires crossed first day of work, and she got booted. Her assistant at the time, oh my God, what was that girl's name? I think we're still friends on Facebook. Danielle's assistant at the time called me on Thanksgiving and was like, Danielle really liked working with you, and she wants to know if you would want to be the stylist, if you'd want to be her stylist. And I was like, hell yeah. Girl, I was so underprepared for this. Danielle was a woman who has a degree of money, a degree of experience. She knows what she wants. She knows what she's after. She don't need no stylist who's still on the job. Like, I've always said, my career, I'd never assisted. So my career was on the job training. Like, I started working and immediately started doing it. I just had to learn as I'm going on the job training. So that was my version of on the job training. I'm like, okay, I have to get her clothes. And that really did open up a lot of doors for me in terms of going to smaller showrooms who, were more willing to dress housewives and stuff like that. This wasn't the Alexander Wangs of the world. This wasn't even the Sachikas of the world. Like, these were the brands who, they're Australian labels, foreign labels, so they don't really care who's in it. They just want people who are popular and who have eyes on them. Also, this is an extremely different time in social media. Like, Instagram is still very new. Twitter is the biggest app. Blogs are still very much prevalent. Streets are, oh my God, my lip is peeling and I know what it is. It's my tretinoin. So sorry if my face looks peely. Blogs are very much still very prevalent. Street style is a thing, but it's not a thing. Like, people aren't calling paparazzi. Like, paparazzi is authentically coming to find people. The blogs are still a thing. Like, we're talking Concrete Loop, Nicole Bitchie, Sandra Rose. Like, we're talking like Perez Hilton. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hollywood Life. These things are still at the top of the forefront. So yeah, I'm pulling from all of these young designers, young showrooms, really, cultivating my skills and having now a Rolodex. Like, my BlackBerry is actually, used for emailing and full of contacts, so I'm really feeling my ooh-ah sensation at this time. Then we get into the little Kim of it all, and then I'm at a crossroads because I need to go to college. So I graduate high school. Danielle ends up firing me. She fired me in the lobby of her condo. That was wonderful. She fired me in the lobby of her condo in front of her daughter. That was wonderful. That was really wonderful. Kim ends up, we don't even have to go down that road. If you know the story, you know the story. Me and little Kim got our wires crossed, and she let me have it. She went on the Return of the Queen tour, all of those things, and yeah. I needed to graduate high school. So I finally graduate high school, and I get accepted to Johnson & Wales University in their fashion merchandising program, which is so funny because I really wanted to go for their culinary program. But my mother had other plans for me. Go figure. So I get accepted into their fashion merchandising program. I go away for 1 semester. Literally the first day, I kid you not, it's so funny. My mom, my sister, and my sister's father drive me to school, unpack me in my dorm, drive off, and literally the next morning I get on the megabus back to New York to get on a flight to Miami to Style Day 26. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I ended up having to tell my mother, and my mother ended up having to drive me and Adrian, my best friend, to the airport for this job. Mind you, my mother just dropped me off the day before. And she's like, what is going on? Don't you have class? And basically she want to knock me over the head. But also I'm with my best friend at the time. And she's just like, I'm not about to do this with you. So I get away unscathed. That trip was interesting. That was an interesting trip. We were shooting a music video out there. Money started to get funny. I had a publicist at the time who, she didn't even know she was a publicist. She was a publicist, but she said, what you really need is an agent, and I can help you. I can be your styling agent. So I'm a mess at this point. I'm a mess and I'm a miss. Like, I don't know up from down. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, this will be great. You know, I'm a baby. I don't know no better. That gets crazy because at that point, money starts to get funny. We get an advance. We're paid out our advance, but then our back end, we don't get our back end. But she somehow got the back end, and she still wants 20% off of our advance. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not giving you shit. Like, even back then. And it's so funny because I still curse my best friend to this day. I'm like, he paid his 20%. He's like, I'm not about to argue about money. I'm like, no, I'm going to argue about it. I'm going to argue about it because even back then, I knew one thing's for sure, two things for certain. My dollars and cents do not get played with. No, not me. Certainly not I. So, he paid his back and I didn't. And I'm not going to this day. Anyway, so I get back to school. I'm in school. I hate school. I drop out after one semester. I come back to New York. My mom says, basically, you're either going to work or go to school. So I work for a year. I work with disabled children, and I actually really loved it. I worked with kids who have developmental disabilities. I worked at the Developmental Disabilities Institute. I was trained in CPR and administering meds and, because they had autism, so sometimes they would get aggressive. I could do all of the things like the safe takedowns and all of that. I was really, really like, maybe I should explore a field in medical. I was really good at that. I really did think I had a great hand in that. So yeah, I did that for a year and almost 3 months. And I had a little Pontiac Grand Prix. I enrolled in school in Los Angeles because I knew I wanted to get to LA. I knew I wanted to have celebrity clients, and all the celebrities live in Los Angeles. So here we usher in Chapter 2, Los Angeles. Chapter 2. Okay, so Chapter 2 starts with me making my way to Los Angeles. I fill my car with all of the things. I'm skipping a lot of steps. Okay, so while I'm in New York and I'm still working with the children with developmental disabilities, I'm testing a bit more, just keeping my book fresh. I connect with a photographer and we're really doing a lot of different test shoots, men's shoots, women's shoots. I did a children's shoot, hated every minute of that. That was immediately when I knew. I was like, oh, me and kids, we don't get along. Me and kids styling, we ain't never gonna do that. Like, that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I tried to put a child in a crop top, bitch. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, that's not for me. I tried to put a child in a crop top, girl. Like, hey, okay? I've never been responsible for raising nobody, except for my little sister. That is my baby. But I'm just like, hey, you want to be a star, girl? Like, come on. They wear crop tops on Nickelodeon. Like, girl, have you seen the Cheetah Girls? They supposed to be in high school. Anyway, so I'm working with this photographer. We're doing a lot of shoots, getting my book together. I meet with Ken Barboza himself, and, I told him about Little Kim and, how all of that. And I'm like, I really need an agent and stuff. And he's like, I think you're still a little junior. But, we'll keep our eye on you, and, if anything comes up, what all agents say, if anything comes up and you want our help with it, we're happy to help you. I.e., we can't put you on the roster right now. We can't make you front-facing, and we certainly can't, put you out there for jobs. It's a very competitive market. However, if you get jobs on your own, we're happy to take 15 or 20% of that and help you get it to a certain point and at least help you get your money. And I'm like, okay. I keep that in my back pocket, right? So I fill up my car with all of my wardrobe because as a stylist, I've always collected wardrobe and jewelry and shoes and stuff. I bring all the best pieces to Los Angeles with me in my car, ship my car to Los Angeles, and I enroll in the Art Institute. They gave me a really great opportunity with housing. And I was like, girl, I'm really not here to go to school. I'm really here to start my career, but I'll use this as a backdrop. That is where I met my best friend Vandy. It's where I met my best friend Toya. I grew up so much there, but I only spent a year in school there, and then I was like, okay, I'm dropping out, and I'm dropping out for real. Like, this is really pulling me away from my career. Like, at this point, I get to Los Angeles, and by now I've styled Little Kim, Maya, Adrienne Bailon, Mika Claxton from Basketball Wives. I did her, like, intro package shoot or whatever. Day 26. And there's probably a whole bunch of other people in between, like, you know, just like one-offs or things like that, right? So those were the heavy hitters. Those were the names that I could remember. I'm now enrolled in school, and I'm trying to gain clients in Los Angeles. And as time progresses, Maya is now spending a lot more time in Los Angeles, so I'm still working with her very heavily, and I want to get with an agent. So I meet with my first agent. They were a young agency called One Represents, and she signed me on, and she gave me so many great tips. One of them being, hey, I'm only taking 15% of the money, so I'm only going to do 15% of the work. And I hold on to that to this day. It's like, yeah, they're only going to do the percentage that they get paid for. So that was that. She got me a lot of great opportunities. And then I just started doing testing, and that's where I learned about testing, but testing for PR. So here is my first tip for anybody who wants to be a stylist, anybody out there who's watching who wants to be a stylist. Actually, I have a couple tips. First things first, if you want to assist, the easiest way to assist is, yes, obviously go directly to the stylist, but you can also go directly to the agencies. I think emailing the agencies like, hey, I'm a young stylist. I want to, you know, assist some of your represented talent in order to learn and foster my skills and build my book and all of these things. That is the smartest way to go about it, because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Stylists are always looking for assistance. They're always looking for interns. They're always looking for help, because, especially today, because everybody wants to be the star. Everybody thinks they're the star. Everybody wants to take the Law Roach approach, right? Totally fine. Very fabulous. However, going through those channels, I think, is the smartest thing that anyone can do. Secondly, I will always say, if you are going to go the independent route, connect with PR. Connect with PR. They are always looking for stylists to do test shoots and press shoots and things like that for their new talent. They always need that, you know, clean girl, white tank, blue jeans on a white psych image, you know, like those good press images. They always need those. That's the easiest way to do it. You won't make a ton of money, if any money, but it's great. It's a great way to connect with a young talent, because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Sorry, I need to put my put ice on my knee. 1 second. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. You never know where your next blessing is hiding. You could very well connect with a talent who's young and brand new, and they can get on a Netflix show that becomes a hit. They can get on an Amazon show, a Hulu show, or whatever, and it becomes a hit, and you have now just worked with a talent and they are a star. You know, so you just really, truly never know where your next blessing is hiding. Get in the field and get to work. So yeah, I'm running around LA working my set, doing my bid, you know. I forgot that I have this instant ice pack. But like, you have to like let the thing pop or something inside. You know what? Before I make a mess of my house and my couch. There we go. All right. It's like instant. Ooh. See. You see? The stupidity. Okay. So yes. So now I'm running around LA, building my book. I feel like now I'm a little bit more seasoned. I know what I'm after, and I know the route I want to take. I know the stylist I want to be. I know the things that I'm after. I just want to climb higher. I want to break into a certain sector and do my thing. LA was really, really hard for me when I left school. I rented a shitty little apartment on Sunset and Gower. It was right next to the Denny's on Sunset and Gower. It was a shitty little apartment, $700 a month. It didn't even have a kitchen. Girl, It was a shithole. Like, it was literally, you open the door, bedroom, shower and bathroom, closet. That's it. There was no kitchen, no living space. It was $700 a month, shitty as hell. I had gotten a Mustang. No, I still had my Pontiac at this point. Girl, the Pontiac was falling apart. The windows wouldn't roll up, but I was like, oh, it's fine. This is Los Angeles. It never rains in Southern California. Until we had one really big rain and the seats were soaked. The car would smoke. I could never tell if I had gas or not because the meter to go up and down that showed you if you had gas. Like, I would literally keep my car full all the time and it would still say my thing is on E. Like, the car was hell on wheels. I sold the car for like, I think $200, and these bitches wanted to beat me up because they was like, we can't tell if it's gas in it. I'm like, girl, the car was $200, bitch. I just want you to take this shit off my hands. Oh, like, sell that shit for sheetrock and get out of my face. Anyway, so that's that. You know, I lived a lot of lives and very dangerous ones. I end up moving out of that apartment. I move into a townhouse in the Valley with my two best friends at the time. And I'm still just busting it around. I'm now represented as a stylist. You know, I'm making a little bit more money, so I go and buy myself a Mustang, you know, and I'm really doing it. Like, I'm a full-time stylist now. I start working with a ton of different talent, young talent, recording artists and stuff like that. One of them being the girl group, P-Taff, I think their name was, or whatever. I'm a boss-ass bitch. I happen to have styled that music video. Which is so funny, you know, on the set of that music video, I met Brooke Bailey and her daughter. Rest in peace. But yeah, like, you know, I'm doing my one now. I'm one of the young stylists around LA who's just doing it, you know, and trying to make it. And I'm sorry I keep peeling at this lip. I need to go put some lip moisturizer on. But yeah, so I'm busting it around LA, doing it, full-time styling, like really trying to grind and build a career. I really want to make it to the top. I want to have those big red carpet moments and have those big red carpet clients. I want Oscars, Golden Globe clients. I want to be signed to the Wall Group. I want to be a premier leading stylist, right? LA was really hard on me though. LA was very, very hard on me, but love has always been in the background of that. So I got into a very strange situation with a guy. We got our wires crossed and I was like, you know what? I'm done with love. And then I met one of the loves of my life. And here goes chapter 3. Chapter 3. I meet one of the loves of my life. We moved back to New York together. He was working for BCBG at the time. I'm styling, but Los Angeles is really whipping my ass. Like, I have all these parking tickets on my car. My car is getting towed left and right. The last time my car got towed, I was like, can I just get my purse out of it and y'all can take her? I really don't even give a fuck no more. So my car is getting towed left and right. I just feel like styling has become so daunting for me. Me and Maya aren't working together anymore. You know, I ended up getting a job at Saks. I got fired from Saks, got rehired at Saks. I started working at this place called Daily Look. You know, I'm going through the motions, bitch. Like, I'm going through all of the motions. And my car is getting towed. My best friend leaves Los Angeles. Like, me and my best friend had an apartment together in North Hollywood. He leaves Los Angeles. I can't afford this rent, so my boyfriend tells me to move in with him. I move in with him. And I'm just like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be just up in the house waiting for you to come home from work and cooking dinner. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's going to come to a point where it's like, you going to want me to be contributing something or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Like paying a bill or stuff. And I don't got no job. So I'm going back to New York. I want to move back to New York. He's like, and I told him, I was like, I love you and I want you to come with me. He quit his job and moved back to New York with me and held down the household for as long as possible until I came back to New York and I was like, I'm going to go back to my roots. And I give people this lesson all the time. I say this all the time as a lesson. Like, sometimes it's good to go back to your roots. Sometimes it's good to go back to what's familiar to you and use it as a springboard. So I came back to New York and I started testing again. I found another photographer that I really liked. I needed to freshen up my book. I needed to freshen up the things that I used to market myself. I've learned how to market myself now as a stylist. So I started testing again, started doing fun shoots, you know what I'm saying? Interesting shoots. We were heavy in this like grunge glamour look right now. Like, you know, it was very heavy Vetements, and Balenciaga was really a thing at the time again. Like, you know, like the darkness, like that dark grunge glamour kind of look was really having a moment. Chokers and fishnets and, you know, kind of undone look. So I did this shoot where the girl had, I don't even remember where I got inspo from for that, but she had on like stocking caps and chokers and oversized jackets and stuff. And, you know, I had bought a replica pair of the Vetements boots, and Kanye's Yeezy boots were a thing. And I bought like this knockoff version of those, knockoff version of the Vetements lighter boots. And I styled that, and I had these jeans, like, you know what I'm saying? It was a pair of my boyfriend's jeans, and I cut the leg off of them, and, you know, I had her wear them with fishnets exposed and stuff like that. And like the shoot I thought was tea. I thought it was really tea. So at the time, Empire was huge. Like Empire was doing this thing. I think Empire was either on its second or third season, and there was this new show coming called Star. And they were teasing Star. Like I remember they did a teaser for Star. Like it was like a winter teaser. Like they had done like either the first 2 episodes or the first episode, and then it was gonna start up in, I think, January or something. But they had teased the show. And there's this like, I'm talking beautiful, like, I'm awestruck by this girl. I'm like, who is this bitch? Right? Her name is Ryan Destiny. So I send her the shoot. And I was like, I think I DM'd her and I was like, I want to see you in these jeans. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And she gave me her number. So I texted her and I was like, oh shit, that worked quicker than I thought it would. Serve! Like, okay, like I'm really that bitch now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really that girl. Like I'm really Big Louie. You know what I'm saying? I'm Big Diva, not the little one. Okay? So I'm like, oh, serve, this worked. So she gives me her number. You know the bitch didn't text me back for like 2 weeks? I was like, oh, that's not how I thought this was gonna go. But then she was like, so at the time, when I moved back to New York, I'm testing and running around the streets and stuff, and I connect with Elisa Johnson. So I'm styling Elisa Johnson at the time. She had just come off of EJ NYC, but Elisa was still in school at the time. Like, she's a socialite, but she's also in college. And we're running around doing looks for events and stuff like that. I'm going to these events with her sometimes and stuff. And so I also have someone who's very current and popular and also in shit, because a lot of the times, Elisa wouldn't want to wear showroom clothes. She would want me to come to her house and build outfits out of her clothes, because Elisa had, like, that was my first time seeing a Croc Kelly. Okay, the girl had pieces. Like, that was, I had never seen a closet like that in my life. Okay, like, this is, honey. In fact, I remember like it was yesterday. I was at her apartment, Elisa's apartment, and not EJ. Magic had bought Elisa a red Kelly bag, not a mini Kelly. It was a red Kelly. And she was telling Cookie, like, I don't like this bag. Like, this is an old lady bag. And Cookie was like, that's not an old lady bag. That is the bag. Red Croc Kelly. Okay? Shiny red Croc Kelly. And Elise was like, I don't, Like, and it's so funny because now here I sit, you know, a lot more well-versed and a lot more well-read and well-understood. I'm like, I ain't never seen somebody turn down a Croc Kelly. Like, do you know? Bitch, what? A Croc Kelly bag? Hey. I ain't never seen that one before, but I actually have. I've seen it in front of me. But yeah, I would be styling Elisa out of her clothes, out of her closet. And, you know, just really building looks from that. And really also, like, helping me condition and learn more about luxury. Like, high luxury now. And real wealth. So I have some things under my belt, and I have more credibility at this point. So we did this project with Essence, the retailer, and basically it was like a Essence selfie series. So I would go on the site and pick whatever clothing I want, put outfits together with it, and basically like it would be a selfie series around the house, and it's in all of the Essence pieces, and basically it's an opportunity for us to show off how to style Essence pieces on Elisa Johnson. So I was like, okay, I have the contacts for the team now. I'm like, let me use this to my advantage. So I was like, hey, there's this girl. She's about to be on Lee Daniels' new hit show. I said, in order for me to get this girl's attention, I already have it, right? I have her attention now. I have to do something that makes sense. Me and Elisa had done a Galore magazine shoot, and we had done this Essence project. I have contacts for both of these teams. I have to bring this girl something, because now I'm sure there's a lot of people in her face and stuff. I gotta make myself the top dog, for real. So I was like, let me reach out to Galore, let me reach out to Essence. They both bite and they're like, oh yeah, we'd love to have her. That would be so great. So I come to her with a cover shoot for a magazine, an opportunity to get free designer clothing, and to do a project with Essence. I fly myself to, in fact, I didn't fly myself. My boyfriend at the time flew me to LA because I couldn't even afford a plane ticket, bitch. I was so poor. I was poor. Okay? Poor. My boyfriend bought me the plane ticket to go to LA. I get all the clothes shipped to LA. I stay with my best friend at the time. And I hired an assistant. I hired an intern, not even an assistant, because I couldn't pay her. But I needed her to come pick me up and take me to Ryan's hotel. Because, girl, I was like, I don't even know how the hell I'm going to get there. Like, my friend lived in the Valley, and she liked to stay in Hollywood. So I was like, okay. I get there, I do the shoot, I meet her mom. It's all great. And ever since then, we were locked in. And that was, like, she was in LA, and I was in New York. And, you know, I would style her remotely. And anytime it was something big, now I'm making a little bit of money now. So it's like, okay, I'm going to get myself to LA. And I really, really did everything I could in my power to make that a thing, because I was like, okay, I know this is gonna be it. And it really was it. You know what I'm saying? We spent damn near 10 years together, working together, building out me, you know, building out Scot Louie 2.0, building out her career as a fashion entity. You know, it was a wonderful relationship, and it brought me so many other clients. From there, I started working with Iskra Lawrence, Kaylani, Rome Flynn, Kiki Palmer. I did shoots with Regina Hall. You know, so many things. Kelly Rowland, like that one relationship blossomed into so many other things. And then there are days now where I'm skipping ahead, like where I'm like, I'm just gonna skip ahead really quickly. Like, there are so many days where now that I don't style anymore and I don't style full time, I'm just like, damn, like I kind of do miss it. Like I kind of do miss being of service in that way, you know, where it's a service job, but it's also a creative outlet. And I do miss that at times. I miss it more frequently than not, but these days I'm having a lot of fun styling myself. I'm having, when I can walk, I'm having a lot of fun styling myself and making myself my new project and my new client, you know, and all of the love and devotion that I offer to others, I can now take this time to offer it to myself. But what are we on, chapter 3? I think we're on chapter 3. So now we get into chapter 4. In fact, girl, I'm gonna finish chapter 4 either later or tomorrow, because I need to elevate my leg and I'm getting a little hot. I need to turn the air on, so I'm gonna call y'all back for chapter 4. But chapter 4 is the birth of Dinner with a White Woman, which later becomes Dinner Plus. Okay, my best friend brought my PR upstairs for me, so I'm gonna open my PR and we're gonna talk chapter 4. The birth of Dinner with a White Woman / Dinner Plus. So we moved back to New York. I'm splitting my time between New York and LA. Money is good. I'm up on my feet. And I'm at this point, I would venture to say that my life was perfect. You know, I had a career that was blossoming and growing in a great direction that I loved. I had a boyfriend that I loved. I had an apartment. We just moved into a bigger apartment that I also loved. I was happy. You know what I'm saying? I was happy at the point. Like, nothing really could have disrupted that. So at that point, I decided I'm gonna do what I do regularly. I cook dinner for us all the time. Like when I'm in New York and when I'm in between jobs, you know, and I'm not in my LA place, I'm at home. And I really never wanted to say this on the internet, but one of my favorite things was just having those days where I would sit at home and watch TV. Like I'd wake up 10 o'clock in the morning, watch Wendy Williams. I would, you know, maybe go to the gym or something, come back home, make a lunch, figure out, you know, go to the grocery store, figure out what I'm going to cook for dinner that day. And have dinner ready until when my man gets home at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Like that was a perfect life for me. I'm sorry, I loved that life. If I could click my heels and go back and be recovered from this knee and go back to cooking dinner for my man, bitch, I would. No shade. I'm sorry. I told you I'm a bit of a trad wife. I don't care. I'm not making gum from scratch, but I'm a bit of a trad wife. Yeah. So one day I made dinner and I was like, I made like a healthy dinner and I was like, oh, this is like dinner with a white woman. And so I posted it just on my regular Instagram stories and I put hashtag dinner with a white woman because it was like some mushroom arugula salad, some bullshit. Something like super, super healthy. Something very white woman. I'm actually not going to show y'all the PR because, girl, we would be here all day. So I posted it and it started gaining a ton of traction. And they were like, oh my God, I didn't know you could cook. And this white woman thing is so funny. So I was like, okay, people don't know that I could cook. People don't know, I gives it up crazy, So I said, all right, let me start posting. So I actually decided instead of using a hashtag, I just decided to make another Instagram profile. And it was called Dinner with a White Woman. And I would just post I didn't have a posting cadence at the time or anything. I would just wake up, and if I'm cooking dinner and I feel like it's worthy of posting, I will post on there. And it started to gain traction and it gained a life of its own. And that was where Dinner with a White Woman was birthed. Then COVID happened and I'm living in LA at the time and, he's in New York, but then it's COVID. So he comes to LA and lives in the townhouse with me and we're there for 6 months and I'm very consistent with it now. And like TikTok is a thing now. So I start posting on TikTok and all of these things. And I'm like, you know what? I want to launch product, but I'm definitely not going to market with something called White Woman. So I was like, okay, what is it going to be? So I changed the name to Dinner Plus because my idea was, and it could still be a possibility, was basically, like a dinner series where I was going to cook for my clients. Kind of like what Diva Drop-In was supposed to be. And I'm just being very candid about this now because things are still taking forever to become a thing. So I'm like, whatever, let's just talk. So yeah, that's what Dinner Plus was supposed to be. It was like Dinner Plus Keke Palmer, Dinner Plus Ryan Destiny, or Dinner Plus another stylist or another creator, whatever. That's the reason for the name Dinner Plus. Because dinner is my favorite meal of the day, even though I make things more than dinner. And the plus is Dinner Plus someone else. So yeah, that was the idea, and that's where Dinner Plus came from. We launched spices on my birthday, January 9th, 2022. And then that October, we launched 2 more, and then we did a holiday spice, and now the spices we did a rebrand and all of those things, and the spices will come back. It's just, I want to tell you guys, but I cannot tell you guys. So just know, if I could give you the spices tomorrow, I would. I just need you to give me your patience. I promise they're coming back. I promise they're coming back. And the thing is, it's like, I want them to come back and still be able to do international, because really it's the girls in London. Like every single day, somebody in the UK is like, I need the spices in London. So just bear with me, please. I also want y'all to know that the reason why the spices had to go on hiatus is because I do it all myself. Like, I pay for it, I pack it, and I ship it all by myself. It became very overwhelming for me. It was just me. I didn't have a fulfillment team, no 3PL, nothing. All of it was me. The only thing was I had a bottling company. That's it. Like, I go into the kitchen with the pan. I'm mixing it up and I'm testing it. And I'm like, I need this amount of salt, this amount of white pepper, this amount of Then I have to send over the ratios. Then once I send over the ratios, they have to send me samples. I have to test the samples. I'm not just going in with a spoon of spice to my mouth. I have to cook and test these samples. Then it has to go back. And if it's not right, it has to come back to me and be tested. Then after that, it has to be bottled, packaged, sent to me. I have to house it, pack it, ship it. It's a lot for one bitch who just wants to wake up and chop. Okay? Like, if I'm calling the thing a thing, girl, So, just bear with me. And also, you know, like, that's also the reason I want to talk about the rebrand of the spices, because a lot of people were like, oh, why'd you change the logo? Why'd you change the label? I changed it because I was losing a fuck ton of money. Okay? I was losing money by the thousand, because the first set, if you are not new here, you know the first bottles were glass. And I feel like every single order came back and they were like, oh, one of these broken transit. Obviously, I have to replace those. So now I'm losing product. I'm replacing product. It became a headache. Okay? I say this all the time. If you want to have a business, be prepared to be exhausted. So that is chapter 4, Dinner Plus. Chapter 5. What is chapter 5 of my life? You know, I mean, it's Scot Louie, the author. I actually feel like I'm going to pause here for the day on chapter 4 being Dinner Plus and stuff. Cause like I have to think about like chapter 5. That's like my breakup, the influencer, the author, new relationship, another breakup, you know, like honestly, I feel like I'm in chapter 5 right now. You know, actually, no, chapter 5 is definitely Scot Louie, the creator / author. And then chapter 6 is what I'm in right now, which is just like Scot Louie 2.0. So I'll give you those tomorrow. Okay, I will show y'all one package though that just got here. It is my To Us and Diva tanks. I had to wait just as long as y'all. Okay. Oh wow, the cotton is so soft, just as soft as I remembered. Okay, first of all, here's the back graphic by Scot Louie. Ooh, something's in my eye. This is the size extra large, which you can see on the internal graphic. Oh, this cotton is so soft. And then embroidered To Us. You know, it's giving fabulosity. I can't wait to try these on when I can stand up. And then we have the Diva tank. Embroidered Diva. Because I'm a diva, you're a diva, we're divas. Okay, back graphic, and then internal. Fabulous. Oh, I love it. This cotton is so soft. Good. 2 times rib, okay? See that bounce back? This is a 2 times rib, honey. Okay, this ain't no cheap shit. Hey, good morning. I was tired of seeing myself like this, so I just put on my Scully. Happy Monday. It's a new week. I believe we were at chapter 5 yesterday. I need to turn off this air conditioner so you guys can hear me. Hold. Okay, I lied. It is not Scot Louie chapter 5. It is Scot Louie 2.0, which is chapter 6, which is the space I'm in right now. I'm also icing my knee. So where I am now, I feel like, and I could have possibly skipped some steps. Forgive me if I have. But I put out a cookbook. I had, you know, TikTok became a thing, and TikTok was doing its rounds, and you know, I leaned into social media being more front facing. And now where I stand today, I had my cookbook. It did really well. I do think personally, I'm a very goal-oriented person, but I've grown out of this, but there is still times where the spirit of comparison comes on me, and I've had other peers who've had cookbooks and they got the New York Times bestseller. I didn't. I got Amazon's bestseller, but I didn't get New York Times bestseller. My book did go #1 on Amazon, but I wanted the NYT. I did not earn the NYT on my first book. Who knows what the future holds, but the first book did not make the cut, fortunately. But also, like I mentioned before, I feel like I have been extremely mishandled and extremely misunderstood because I touch a lot of boxes, because, you know, I lean on personality and charm, but also I'm somewhere between a stylist, a home cook, a influencer, you know, a beauty guru. Because, you know, I'm a pretty ass bitch. What can I say? You know, like, there's just so much that I do that it's hard to manage someone like me. And I don't think, even today, I don't think I have a team that gets all aspects of me. And it is possible to find that, but I think I'm still on that journey. So Scot Louie 2.0 is just Scot Louie Post being a stylist. You know, I am now of service to myself and of service to people in a different way. You know, I'm no longer chasing bitches down a red carpet. I'm, you know, a little bit more focused on myself and my personal image and being an influencer and what that world looks like, how I use that towards my next chapter, my next set of goals, and, you know, leaning in on love and life and, you know, me. So that's where we're at right now. Again, I definitely probably skipped, you know, a lot of fuller, oh Lord Jesus, a lot of fuller details, but, you know, that'll come in my memoir, girl. But oh my God, this thing is leaking everywhere. Jesus. Sorry. So, yes, ciao. All of that will be in my memoir as life goes on. But now that you guys are here and a part of the journey, you know, this will just make for better content. You know, you guys will be a part of Scot Louie 2.0, and who knows, maybe there will be a third, there will definitely be a third act, child, because, you know, there will come a point where it's like, I don't want to be an influencer for the rest of my life. I want to be an astronaut, you know, or whatever. I'm a Capricorn. I changed my mind like I changed my panties. So there's also that. And that's the joy of life is, you know, you can just wake up and do whatever you want. Maybe I'll be a rapper next, you know? I don't know what I'd say, but I'm sure I'd figure it out. I got some shit to get on my chest. Feel me? So yeah, that is the chapters of Scot Louie. Where do we at? Chapter 6? More things will come up. More things will happen. And I finally got an MRI scheduled for today at 7 p.m. So we're going to get an MRI. And I'm really, really hoping that the remainder of this process is very seamless. And I have a new Bible verse. I think I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again today because I'm going to say it every day and I'm going to really register that one in my head and really dig that one deep. Is that Psalms 27 verse 13, I remain confident of this, that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Okay? So while I am here on this earth, I will see the goodness of the Lord. Okay? I give that one from me to you, from you to me. Okay? And with that being said, oh, my cousin's calling me. I don't have time for that right now. With that being said, I'll holler at you guys for my MRI. Okay, I made it home to my mom's. My leg is up and elevated. As you can see here. There goes the dog. Just always up and away, always up and everything. Kale? Yeah? Can you bring my PR in a scissor so I could just open it here? I'm gonna open some PR. So, nothing going on. I have 3 hours until my MRI. Okay, I just got to my MRI appointment. They were able to get me in early. I feel like we're at the tail end of this, girls. And I'm telling you, when I'm able to walk again without crutches or a knee brace, I might do a split in the middle of the club. I might do a split on the dance floor just to celebrate. I'm gonna dance like I've never danced before. Believe you me. Okay, I'm about to go in for the MRI, but like, I feel like the swelling has gone, granted, that's from my brace, but I feel like the swelling has gone down so much. Like, I feel like I'm almost back, y'all. I can't bend it all the way without feeling the pressure and tension up here, but like, I feel like I'm almost back. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit the hardest split. It's very tender here. But the queen is almost back. Hey y'all. Okay, so I just left the MRI. I dropped off my sister. And now I'm heading home. That was like sensory overload. So I walk into the room and the technician is like, do you want music? Who do you want to hear? And I'm like, Beyonce. Like, I want Beyonce. I know that'll keep me calm. Beyonce, right? So I put the headphones on, I lay on the thing, they put the monitor thing over my knee or whatever. And he's like, wow, your knee is really swollen. Yeah, thanks. I know. And like, I get into the machine. I've never had an MRI before. I didn't know what to expect. So once the sound starts going off, I just want you to picture this. Picture this. Beyonce's Deja Vu is playing. Y'all know how loud that song is, okay? And then on top of Deja Vu playing, it's this like loud ass like I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. And I'm in a tube with a ball, because like you have like a ball on a string in case like it's too much for you. You press the ball and it'll stop it. You know, and I'm like laying on my back. He's like, try to be as still as possible. I really want to get a latte or something. He's like, try to stay as still as possible. I'm like, okay. And then it's just, I'm like, okay, hey, I didn't even come here for all of this. Okay, I just came to dance for y'all, that's all. Like, whoa, this is a lot for the queen. Like, it was truly a lot. But we got it done. 1 to 2 days for results. So, we'll see.
Square toe, you know, because, oh, it's trendy, it's in it.
Woo! Hey, y'all. It's me, Diva, back in my favorite spot. Nothing new to report, besides I got my MRI, and now we just wait 1 to 2 days for results. My sleeping has gotten better, I will say that. My mobility has gotten better. I'm able to stand up a little bit longer with the crutches. I'm also able to cheat and use one crutch. Chances are I'm probably not supposed to. And girl, this couch and this house is a mess. Chances are I'm not supposed to, because I'm supposed to be staying off of this leg and knee. But like using 2 crutches is so annoying to me. So using one crutch has become a little bit more bearable, because I treat the crutch like God. You know, I always say, God, go before me. So crutch, go before me. But yeah, that's really all I have to report. Ginger turmeric tea. Currently, I was finally able to do laundry because all of my favorite pajamas are dirty. And I need them. So I've gotten some laundry done. My best friend's going to come over tomorrow. All of my PR is sitting here. All of the PR that I had at my mom's house, that's all going to stay there. I went there and I unboxed it and I was like, how am I going to get this upstairs? You know, because I'm on crutches. So the only thing I could do was put my Chanel bag up on my shoulder or like go crossbody with it, because I need to be on the crutches. So I'm like, I'm not going to be able to carry anything. So there's that. That's a lie. I did bring home one piece of PR that I was really excited to receive. No, that's a lie. I brought home 2. I bought home my new Chanel. Chanel just sent over their Hydra Beauty Micro Serum. I have used their Camellia cleansing cream before. This is a new one, I think. This is a cream to foam from Chanel, and then this is their lip serum, Hydra Beauty lip serum. So I'm really excited to try those. And then this is what really got me excited, girl. Honey, Omnilux Men sent over a new red light therapy mask. I believe in red light therapy. I have one from Dr. Dennis Gross, but Omnilux sent one over, and this one is specifically for men. So it's for anti-aging. I will be using her. In fact, I'm about to use her now while I'm sitting here. That's the only thing I did say with this downtime. I need to be skin caring. Like anything that I can do, I should be doing. So like reading, mind caring, and skin caring. I was watching some sermons earlier, and it was a Joel Osteen sermon, and it was talking about how, you know, we really need to try not to run away from this time that we're in. You know, sometimes we try to get past certain seasons and stuff, and I'm like, hello, me, yes, me, absolutely me. But sometimes you really just have to, you gotta live in it, honey, you gotta stew in it. So I'm stewing in it currently. Oh yeah, girl, here we go, girl. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna let that sit and read the instructions. But yeah, you know, I'm just really trying to find something to appreciate during this time. And you know, just take a bit of a slow season. It is definitely hard for me though. It's really, really hard for me. It is. You know. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret though. I did make a new Hinge profile. I just feel like I have to be proactive. I have to be proactive. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. So I don't know how long this will last. I might just be going through a period right now. But I did make a Hinge profile and I think it's gonna help me pass the time. I'm talking to like 3 people on there, but conversations are a bit odd. And yeah, I'll report back soon, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I've also realized that I need to just get back out in the field because one thing about it, 2 things for certain, I don't want to toot my own horn or have any problems, but I really truly don't have a problem meeting men out in the field. Like some of my best suitors that I've met, even this summer, I've met all of them out in the field. And you know why? Because I talk a lot. Because I never shut the hell up. And I'm telling you, this is for the divas, especially the gay male divas. If you find that you're having a hard time meeting men in the field, don't be so damn stuck up. I'm telling you, I could charm the panties off a nun. Just saying. I talk a lot. And and the thing is, I'm not a very fearful person. Like, I can be fake shy and fake reserved, but truly, you get a little Don Repo in me, hell, I'll talk to just about anybody. I will flirt with just about anybody. And 9 times out of 10, they're overly going. So, yeah. I think I'm just bored right now, and that's why I have a Hinge profile. But as soon as I'm able to walk again, I might walk away from her for good. So, let's just see. Anyway, girl, I'm watching YouTube. My hair's still not done. My nails need to be filled. But, you know, we just here, ass printed in this velvet couch. I was able to go take a shower. Took me forever, child. I'm gonna use my Omnilux Men. I was gonna use it earlier, but they said you have to use it on clean skin. And I had SPF on and stuff, so I'm gonna use this now, and I'm gonna read my book on my Kindle. I've been having a lot of screen time. I'm having immense cabin fever. Like, granted, this is not very different from my regular routine, because normally I'm at home anyway, but something about being mandated to be at home when my hair need to be done, my nails need to be done, I need a pedicure, I need some fresh air, it's kind of hard for me. It's kind of hard for me. It's kind of hard for me because even just getting to my bathroom is a hassle. Like, going to the doctor's appointments, I'ma thug it out to do that because I have to do that, but anything extra and recreational, i.e. getting my nails done and getting a haircut, when I really don't need to, I'm not going to. But, whew, this is really hard. This is really challenging. I mean, if there are people out there who actually have to do this, who are forced to do this, I tip my hat off to you. Because let me tell you something, my faith is being tested. Okay? Alright, here we go. It's about to get spooky. It's about to get spooky dooky. Hold on. And I'm telling you, anytime I spend extra time on my leg, that knee starts to throb in. It's like a muscle thing. Ooh. Ooh, Lord, did you? Ooh. Ooh, Lord. You know, my head is big. Hold on. This is like prison. Shit. I think I'm going too tight. Is it supposed to go like, no. It's supposed to go like this. I feel like they can make these eye holes a little bigger, but okay. Hello? Okay, here we go. Ooh. Actually, I don't know if I could read with this. I'm gonna just do this for 10 minutes and I'm gonna call y'all back. Or, well, I mean, I'm gonna start reading, so I don't really have anything to say. Love you, girl. Bitch, let me tell you something. I've been so sad this week because of this knee. But let me tell you something that's really gonna stew me like hot gravy. Oh my God. The Donnell Jones versus Joe versus is this weekend, and it's so many parties in Brooklyn. Oh my God. It's so much happening. There's so much happening this weekend. Oh my God. I could just hear my grandmother now. I know every drum we knock you have to dance to. Should I have not gone to Chicago? Should I just have stayed still? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Am I just undeserving of having a good time? Oh my God. Okay. 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 Woo! Good morning, girl. Happy Wednesday. We stay. Anyway, I'm about to ice this knee. I could feel y'all praying. I could feel y'all praying for me. I could feel y'all praying for me because my mobility is coming back. Now, the swelling is going down very, very slowly, but it's going down, right? I could feel y'all praying for me. So please keep praying. Please keep seeking the Lord on my behalf, okay? Please keep seeking the Lord for this knee. I could feel y'all praying for me. I could feel it. I feel like I'm sitting in an answered prayer. Woo! Girl. Wow. I be keeping this knee brace on so long. Whoa. This knee look like Michael Jackson. Not a color. Wow. Wow. But yeah, girl, I just wanted to come in. I didn't even turn on the lights, girl. I probably look like a damn fool. I just want to come and say good morning. I have nothing new to offer as far as updates and such. Yeah, girl. Look, y'all. I mean, I'm still with crutch, but I'm up on foot. I was having a bit of a meltdown, and I'm just gonna be candid and honest with you. Right when I was about to go film the Q&A, I got a call from the doctor's office because I left a message because they still haven't called me back, and I'm like, girl, what's going on? Like, I need to know what's next, you know? And she called me back again, and she was like, I'm so sorry, like, the doctor was in surgery all day yesterday, but they're trying to find you a surgeon closer to Brooklyn. And I said, oh, whoa, surgeon? Excuse me? So that immediately sent me into a spiral. I'm like, surgeon? Am I gonna have to get surgery? She's like, no, we don't know. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, I'm not a doctor, but it could just be someone who is titled a surgeon who just lives closer to you, and maybe it's as simple as physical therapy or a cast or something. But I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. So once I heard that, like, I couldn't think beyond that, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want to get surgery. Like, I do not want to have to go into surgery, because that's like, if this has sat me down, surgery is really gonna sit me down. And I'm not even gonna talk about it. But yeah. Anyway, I just went and collected all of my dead flowers and put them in a bag so that I could toss them out because I was just tired of looking at them. And as I'm doing that, God is so funny. God is so funny, but also friendships are so funny. I get a delivery. Hold on, let me go hobble over and collect them. Ooh. Ooh. How beautiful. How beautiful is this? How beautiful is this? It's not from a man. It's from the love of my life, Janae Naylor. When I tell you, I've said it time and time again, there is truly not a better friend I could have asked for in this lifetime. I am so blessed and always so humbled and so happy to know that I have, if nothing else, Janae Naylor. Now, how do I get this fancy ass set of flowers up out of this box? I don't even know if it's in a vase or not. I'm like, I don't want to mess anything up. Y'all know I'm accident prone. Okay. Okay, it's in water, but it's in a sack. Period. Now, which vase do I put it in? Do we think they could fit in the big one? I want to take a picture, but do I take a picture? Where do I take a picture? Do I put it in a vase first? Do we think they could fit in this? Or is it gonna look crazy? Like, could they fit in the big one? I don't think so. They can maybe go in here, but I don't know if they'll be stable in here. Like, I need like a normal vase. I don't have a normal vase. Maybe I'm gonna have to split them up. I don't want to though. They're so beautiful together. Shit. Okay, let me first take a picture of them, and then I have to go sit down and figure it out. My leg is getting a little. Ugh. I'll be back. Okay, this will go on the TV top. Ooh, this will go in the glam room in the office. Beautiful. And this will go by my bedside. Fabulous. Sisterhood, a state of love, bonding, trust, real friendship. Janae, girl, I know you're gonna watch this. I love you so much. I love you insurmountably. Okay? Girl, I'm gonna text you anyway. So I just got the call. I do have to have knee surgery. I have a torn ACL, a torn meniscus, and a chunk of cartilage is missing from my knee that got ruptured. So hi, good morning. You know, I've gone through all the emotions this week. Like you guys saw last, I have to get knee surgery, so I have a torn meniscus, torn ACL. No, hold on, I wrote it down because girl, I don't even know half of what the hell she just told me. Yes, torn ACL, torn meniscus, and I took off a chunk of cartilage. So that was quite the tumble, but here we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just have to go through it, grin and bear it, and get out on the other side. It's just so crazy to me because I really, really swore. And that's the thing about me, but that's also the thing about my faith is that I really swore. I was like, oh girl, I'm gonna be fine. Like, I'm gonna wear my knee brace and then, I'm just gonna wake up one day and miraculously be able to walk again. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like, the God I serve, the mountain moving God I serve, come on. Surgery, that's for people of the world. I'm of the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to get surgery. Surgery, no. No, I serve a God who moves mountains. I serve a God of abundance, you know? However, I have to get surgery. So, you know, I'm just like, okay, all right. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I just need to figure out how I'm going to pivot all of the things that are coming up. You know, God laughs when we tell him our plans. I'm just over here talking about, oh, US Open. I'm going on vacation. You know what I'm saying? We booking vacation. We going here. Not quite. You know, I got so many. I feel like this angle is like crazy. Is that better? You know what? Whatever. I got so many US Open invitations, and I just don't, like, I really don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know. I do not know. And my friend brought up a great point last night. She was like, I mean, you probably could still go to the US Open. Like, they have to have options for people who are like handicapped, and you know, you can just go in a wheelchair. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I could, but like, it's not just about being, I mean, okay, hold on. Yes, it is about being at the US Open, but outside of being at the US Open, it's also about like turning my looks, you know what I'm saying? Putting on my fashion. It's like, you know, really serving, doing what I do best. So it is going to be a bit of an adjustment for me. And I did say if in fact it shakes out where I cannot actually go to the US Open or whatever, I am gonna delete my Instagram for a little bit. Like, I am going to take a little pause from socials, because if I get online and I have to watch now, I already feel like I spend a lot of time watching other people live their lives, and I feel like sometimes I'm often riding the bench. If I have to watch bitches who don't even like tennis, who don't get tennis, go to the US Open, and this would be now my 4th year in a row watching this, I'm gonna crash out. Like, it would be, I have to actually protect myself, because as y'all know, I love tennis. And as y'all know, I've played tennis for a very long time, but I was used to play tennis as a kid. So I've always been surrounded by tennis. And once the US Open became a thing and I became an influencer now, and I'm seeing all of these other creators go to US Open, like, I've seen creators go to US Open 5 consecutive days, and they're like, I mean, I really don't know anything about tennis, but like, look at my outfit. And I'm like, okay, yes, you look great, but also, honey, do you know who's on the court in front of you? Like, you're going to the finals. You're going to the finals. You're going to the finals. Bitch, my man is on the court. Carlos Alcaraz is right there. Ben Shelton, Taylor Fritz. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off right now. So, yeah. Let's just collectively say a prayer that the God we serve, our miraculous God, will move a mountain in my life, move a mountain in this knee, okay? And by a stroke of luck, by grace and favor and mercy, we will see the other side of this, and I can go to the US Open. Because when I tell you, this is the year where I'm like, okay, no, I need to be there. Like, I'm talking about, I have 4 invitations already for the US Open. 4. Like, I don't even want to be extra, but that's fab. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fab. This is obviously my year. This is obviously my year where now I'm like, okay, I'm on the radar of brands now. It's like, okay, no, we should take Scot Louie. Yeah, like, yes, bitch. And then I'm going to bring my tennis racket and my tennis balls and get out there and show y'all bitches what I'm really made of. Like, girl, I'm finna go show y'all an ace. And y'all gonna be like, oh my God, wait, hold on, not the Diva can actually play. Yeah, girl. You know? Like, I'm not just, like, this is one of those things where it's like, you know, I get a ton of invites. I get a ton of invites to things, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and show face for the brand, or go and, you know, eat up the food in the suite, you know, because sometimes I go to concerts, I don't even know the artist, but I'm like, hey girl, I'm here to eat. Like, I'm here to eat. I want some chicken tenders, girl. I'm here to eat. But like, this is one of those things where it's like, no, I'm actually gonna enjoy the game, and like, I'll be the one in there explaining this to everybody, you know, like, oh, Jesus, please, God, make it fine, God. Anyway, I didn't come here to do all of this talking. It's time for the Q&A, because as promised, I said we were going to do chapters of Diva, and then we're going to do a Q&A. I have the questions ready, and I have some answers for you. Okay, Q&A. I screenshotted some of my favorite questions. Some of the questions were absolutely erroneous. Like, I was like, okay, you're not even being serious. But you know, par for the course, as expected. I did anticipate there would be a host of bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna go in order. First question is, what's the next Birkin you're thinking of getting? Well, darling, I love this question. If I am to go Birkin next, I think I want to get a 25. But like I said to you, I like that my collection they're special. You know what I'm saying? My first Birkin was a JPG 42. Then I really took myself there. Like, I really took myself there, and I went alligator 30. And then for the US Open, I went 35 club, which is Mykonos lizard stripes, and it's basically 3 tones. So I like that all of my Birkins are very special. I really want to go Kelly next, and I really want a Kelly cut, but also I want like a Kelly 25, maybe 28. But then also I did say I do really want to just like complete my Birkin collection with a 25 and a 40. Like, if I go 25, 40, then my Birkin collection, I would have all sizes of Birkin, you know? I do think a 25 is very small for me, but I would still, like, if I see something that's just like fabu ooh la la, like, you know, I just can't get past this, I can't stop thinking about it, yeah. And 40, that's always been the perfect size for me. Like, it's actually very funny to me that I went 42, 30, 35, and still don't have a 40, because my actual dream Birkin is a Birkin 40. I would love Barania leather in the color ebony, whatever. The chocolate brown. We really want to go Kelly next before Birkin. Oh, hold on. My doctor's office is calling me. Hold. Sorry, I'm really just trying to check all my options here. I'm like, honey, is surgery like the final option? You know, like, is there a world in which... Anyway, so yeah. That is the first question. I'm going to also crop these so I can put them in the video so the questions are on the screen. Okay. The next question says... This one, I was on the fence. It says, Diva, love you down. Love you back, honey. Do you laser or wax? Your skin looks amazing. That is very funny because I think my skin is really going through it. I laser my face. So all of this is laser. I don't know if it's like my legs or my arms you're talking about. I don't grow a ton of body hair. So I don't do anything on my body. Like, I'm 33 years old, honey, and this is about as hairy as it gets. So that's the blessing that I will say I have, is I don't grow a ton of body hair. But as far as facial hair goes, Wolverine. And that is laser. I don't know if my laser is really, really working for me because it grows back, but I've been lasering since last October, and I feel like it's just like constant. So yeah, facial laser by a Black esthetician, Tanya Thomas Skin Clinic. The next question says, if you could wear one luxury brand for the rest of your life, what would it be? For me, if I could wear one luxury brand for the rest of my life, it would be Bottega Veneta. If I were a woman, if I were a woman and I could only wear one luxury brand for the rest of my life, it would be Alaïa. I love Alaïa's clothing. I think there is something for like every version of you. There is something to wear to be a wedding guest. There's something to wear for your wedding ceremonies. Well, you know what I mean. Like your, what is it, like your engagement parties, the bridal parties, you know what I'm saying? Like all of the wedding events. There's something to wear to do car pickup. There's something to wear to brunch. There's something to wear to the club. There's something to wear to a date. Like Alaïa touches all the boxes. As far as men go, I feel like Bottega Veneta for men, there's something that also touches all the boxes. You can be a wedding guest. You can be proposing. You could be, you know, going to take somebody's husband. You could go take somebody's bit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something for everyone. You know, as far as the men goes with Bottega Veneta, I think there's bags, shoes, fragrances, everything. So yeah, if I had to choose one brand, it would be Bottega. It's fun, it's colorful, it's campy at times, it's serious when it needs to be. You know, there's classic knits, there's the fun, irreverent pieces, there's everything there. Okay, absolutely love this question. What would be your song you would want to walk down the aisle to? I've already said this. I don't want to marry too far out of the culture. So I would prefer to be with a man who is Jamaican, Trini, Guyanese, something, so he understands me. And I would want to walk down the aisle to When You Feel Lonely by Movado. I know it. And if you're Jamaican, if you're from the Caribbean, you get it. Like, it's a very romantic. I want to just play a little piece of it because it's romantic, but it's also a fuck song, you know? So it's like, I would walk down to it, but like played by an orchestra, you know, played by a harpist and a violinist or something, you know, like something that sounds chic, you know, but it is a fuck song. If not, if I'm marrying someone who is not of the Caribbean descent, they would at least be black. And I'm going to walk down the aisle to, what's the song with Eric Benet and Tamia? Can I just see you every morning when I open my eyes? That's the song that I want to walk down the aisle to. But if I'm marrying... Just imagine this. No words, just doom, 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 doom. I might start with slow winding down the aisle. Bob. Girl, me feel take off your pants. Now listen where your man say. You feel lonely. Yeah. Yeah, girl. That, like, just imagine that played, like, by a violinist or a harpist. That would serve. I'm sorry, that would be over. If you had to temporarily move to a new city for 1 year, where would it be? There would be 2 places. Actually, probably just one right now. For me, as much as I love DC at 33 years old and after the last winter we had here in New York, I have truly, truly realized, even though I'm a winter baby, I was born in January, I don't love the cold. I don't love maneuvering in the cold. I don't like traveling in inclement weather. I don't even like the rain for real, for real. I like the rain when I'm inside. But if I have to go out and do something, listen, my shoes, my purses, none of those things can really get wet. My garments really can't get wet. So I'm really not someone who loves to travel in inclement weather. But I have said, and if you're not new here, you know, it will be Miami for me. Close enough to be in New York in 3 hours, you know, but still getting that tropical warm climate. I really, as I've gotten older, I really don't fuck with the cold. Like, I really don't love her. And I lived in LA for 9 years. I did my bit in Los Angeles. Me and LA have a love-hate relationship, more hate than love. And there's nothing new happening in LA, so I really don't need to live in Los Angeles anymore. So it would probably be Miami for me at this present moment in my life. I love this one too because, I mean, I've talked about it before, but it says, what is your coming out story if you have one? I do not. I'm a big dog baby, underdog baby, self-made bitch, yeah, you ain't upgrade me, waistline crazy, man them chase me, say you want to see me, where you gonna take me, put in Chanel, I'm a big dog baby. I came home with a boyfriend, cause who gonna do what to whom? No, I don't have a coming out story. It's kind of one of those what's understood doesn't need to be explained type of things, but you know, I come from a very Jamaican family where it's just like, hush hush, you know, like it's kind of like, let's just ignore the elephant in the room, but the elephant's like right here. It's like right here at your face, and it's just like, oh, let's just act like we don't see, we don't know, we never heard it, you know. So yeah, that's that. Is there any bag purchase you regret? Oh my god, no. I love all of my children. No. There's bags that I don't wear as frequently, like, I want to get up and show you, but girl, you know, it's a process for Big Mama these days. Hold on. So like, I love my Chanel Gentle Boy bag. It has the it's like, it's not the silver tone hardware, it's the gunmetal hardware, and it's the jumbo Chanel Gentle Boy bag, but I don't carry her as much because she's very heavy. Like, you put one thing in here and she weighs 90 pounds. Also, I've talked about the boy bag. I have the same sentiments about the boy bag that I have about the Chanel 25 that everybody is getting. Nobody is going to look at that bag in, like, I'm telling you, even in 2 years, 5 years, you're going to look at that bag and be filled with regret because it is way too much of like a signifier of a time or a place in fashion that it really dates itself very quickly. Like the Chanel the Chanel boy bag dates itself so quickly. So yeah, I love her though. She was one of my earlier Chanel purchases. So yeah, but no, honey. I really, really loved this Acne Studios Masubi tote. As much as I loved it, the handles are not they're kind of annoying to hold. Like, I like rolled handles. Obviously, that's why I love my Birkins so much, because I love rolled handles. When handles are like fat like this, it gets annoying. And then it does come with a shoulder strap, but I just don't reach for her as much. The thing is, I'm not gonna get rid of her, because there are times where she comes in very handy, you know? But also because the handles are such a specific size, it's like you really have to hold her. Like, I don't really love to travel with her either, because she doesn't go over like a carry-on or something. Like, you have to properly hold her. So she's a little bit just odd in functionality, but beautiful color, great size. You know, if I was a bitch who actually had a job, this would be a great work bag. Let me tell you something. Before I move on to the next question, let me tell you something. In this lifetime, try to stay as healthy as possible. I know that is the dumbest advice I could probably give you, but if there is anything I can advise, it's just try to be as healthy as possible, be as diligent as possible, because especially me, I'm 33 years old. I make no secret of my age. I love being 33. I think being 33 is so sexy. But after 30, like, injuries are totally different. Like, injuries actually mean something. Not that injuries before 30 don't mean something, but everything is heightened now, because especially if you're single, girl, okay? And if there's another piece of advice I can give you, is when people talk about you never know if you get injured, if your bills could be paid up for 6 months, if you have a little bit of nest egg and stuff, you know, the whole rainy day shit that people talk about, it might actually rain. It might actually rain, you know? It might actually rain. And I'm standing in that, girl. I'm standing in, like, granted, I know I got some money coming, but, you know, yeah, I might have to go in that savings, girl. I might have to go in that savings, you know what I'm saying? So I used to be that person who was extremely naive and be like, oh, girl, that's just such an old people saying, like, oh, a rainy day, save for a rainy day. Girl, you know what I'm saying? Girl, you know, I'm big Ange to this shit. I was like, I'll never save $1. You know, that was me. I'll never save $1. I love to spend. I love to shop. That's me, right? But balance. Everything has to be balanced. You do have to save $1. You do have to save $1, because there might be a day where your friend jumps on you in a club and you tear your meniscus, ACL, and take off a chunk of cartilage, and you need to get surgery, and you might not be able to work. And what you gonna do then? Okay? You gonna live in one of your purses? So, just take that little bit of advice from Diva to Diva. Who are some of your style icons and inspirations right now? You know, I didn't think this question would be so hard for me as it is right now. Because, to be honest, I'm a little fatigued with this space as it is. But also, I think we're in a very interesting space right now, you know. I know what people say about, like, the fall, winter months. That's really when you see bitches putting that shit on. And it's true. It is true, you know, because it is harder to, like, really fit up in the summer times. Like, you could turn out some looks, you know, color block, and, you know, do things with prints and, you know, all of those things. But I am a little fatigued with the space right now, so I really don't have, like, a definitive person who's really moving the needle for me. And then on top of that, because I'm not a stylist for real anymore, I don't have anybody who's moving the needle in terms of, like, things I would put my clients in or shit like that, you know? Like, I mean, there are people who I love to watch, and I love to watch them get dressed and have fun with their style, Janae Naylor being number one. There's this girl, Tamara Kalinick. She's, like, uber rich. I just love the way she loves investment pieces and collecting nice fine jewelry and watches and things like that. You know, I love watching the uber rich. Like, that's it for me, you know. I'm not one of those people, and I know this might sound a little bit insensitive, but I'm not one of those people where it's just like, look at the state of the world and stuff. Like, we have to pull inspiration from somewhere. We have to pull inspo from somewhere. Like, I see the rich and I'm like, no, bitch, get better. Like, I'm really not a part of the eat the rich conversation. I'm not rich yet. But, actually, I am rich. Hold on, let me check. I am rich. You're right. Thank you, Father God. I am rich, but there's richer out there, and I'm always looking up, okay? So, yeah, I'm always looking at just, like, the people who are, like, uber rich, you know, the Tamaras and there's this one boy, I don't know what he does. He be on a yacht all the time. He might be a yacht girl. But he, like, everything. It's just Kelly's and Bulgari. And I'm talking about, like, all the finest. Just big Patek, APs. Sometimes shit I ain't never even heard of. I'm like, oh my God, bitch, what the hell? Like, that's what I'm looking at. It's just the uber rich. Oh, also, Mel, what is Mel's last name? Holbrook Akpaso, if I'm not mistaken. Mel's wardrobe. Like, fabulous. Just highlights fabulosity. Fabulosity from all places. She will outlet shop. She will shop. You know, like, she teaches you how to shop. She will shop from anywhere and put it together. And it's like, Mel will wear, you know, she's a Mark and Spencer's ambassador, which I believe Mark and Spencer's, I don't know what to compare it to, like, in the US. I want to say it's like a Zara. You know, I think it's fast or affordable, attainable fashion. And she's one of their ambassadors. She'll wear stuff from Marks and Spencer's and then have on, like, Alaya shoes and a Croc Kelly cut. Like, you know, just doing it. Fab. I love things like that. Like, I just love fabulosity. So, yeah, those are some of the people who I like right now. Any friendship tips? I seem to always love or value my friends more than they do for me. You know, I think with something like this, the most important thing to do is kind of really take a beat and look within. Because if you find that you are giving more than you are receiving, that's a internal conversation, you know? And I know we love our friends. Friendships should be the easiest relationships in your life because friendships are a choice. You know, we don't choose our parents, we don't choose our cousins, we don't choose our sisters, we don't choose our brothers, but we make a conscious effort to choose our friends. We choose our best friend, you know, whether that be based on shared interest or whatever the reasoning is, we make that choice. And if a friend is not going to choose you the way that you choose them, you really have to look within and say, where is the value left in this for me? Friendship breakups are hard. They're just as hard as relationship breakups. But ultimately, you gotta love you more than you love anybody else. And hey, I'm telling you this as a bitch who I love me more than I love anybody else. This next question is great because it comes at such a perfect time. How do you keep yourself motivated and encouraged when life tries to throw you off? Well, considering life just tried to throw me off my knee, the way I keep myself encouraged and motivated is like I allow myself to feel my feels. And I'm not one of those people who ignores the worst case scenario. I think of the worst case scenario, I address the worst case scenario, and then I'm just like, nah, but that ain't for me, you know? And I know it's such a cliche, and I really muscle through following that. I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, X. But I know that ain't for me because I wouldn't have made it this far. I wouldn't have come this far. I wouldn't be here today still doing and trying and pushing if I was supposed to fall off, okay? What's the TikTok? Real hustles never stop. You just got to keep going. But no, in all seriousness, sometimes you just got to pull encouragement from exterior places, you know? Listen to that song that lifts you up. I have songs that really lift me up. You know, one of my songs that always gets me going when I'm really feeling down? Mary J. Blige, Just Fine. I won't change my life just fine. Ooh. Or Victoria Monet's Jaguar. Like, supersonic pussy catches like a jaguar, silky fat, so let me climb your wood like that. You got my toes to come hit that. La la la. Like, things that I really pull it from an exterior source. So I really loved that Oprah interview with Keke Palmer. If I need to go back and revisit it, I'll revisit it. I've already revisited it twice, and I watched it 3 times in one day. So now I'm in my 5th watch. You know, there's always a nugget that you can pull from somewhere. I think we really need to go back to those roots too. It's like we consume so much entertainment and so much stimuli on such a regular basis between TikTok and all of these things. You know, all the social platforms, YouTube, blah, 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 blah. All of these platforms do give us so much to ingest that we sometimes don't sit with it enough. Revisit things, pick up that book, take a break, take a beat, take a walk, Eat your favorite food. Fuck what people say, girl. Go for it. Have that day. Have that meal. Have that cheat meal. Treat yourself. You know? Fuck that bill and buy that bag. Don't do that. Because I'm not coming to save you. This question says, would you give reality TV another shot if the opportunity arose? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a star, honey. I'm a star and I love to talk. I say this with all due. I'm a star. I'm a star. I'm not meant to just exist in one place. I'm supposed to be global, you know? Like, YouTube is great. I reach a lot of places, you know, shout out South Africa, shout out the UK, shout out all the girls who I'm reaching from all of different places, you know, but I'm supposed to be global. I'm supposed to be on the big screen, honey, okay? I think I'm supposed to go from reality television to the silver screen to the Oscars. You know, I'm a star. I'm a star. So yeah, hell yeah, you know? And while I'm talking about stardom and all of those things, let me tell you one thing. If you are someone who knows that you are destined and predestined for so much more, if there is this big calling on your life, pray and never cease praying. Pray and never cease praying. You got to pray over your resources. You got to pray over your mind, over your ability, over your mobility, because you never know who is waiting on your downfall, who is praying on your downfall, who is like, you got to pray over your opportunities. If you have children, pray over your children, pray over everything, because there really is monitoring spirits out there. There's really people out there. And this is something who is new. This is new for me because I never used to believe in that, oh, they jealous of me, oh, they don't want to see me win type shit, until you get that confirmation, until you see the demon in front of you and you're like, whoa. And I don't want to sound woo-woo. I don't want to sound like no spiritual psychosis, but I'm telling you, it's real. You have to pray over yourself, pray over your resources, pray over your knowledge, pray over your mind, your body, everything. Everything you touch, let it be blessed and ordained by God, okay? Like, and understand too, whether you turn left or whether you turn right, God is by your side wherever you go, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna stop being preachy because girl, don't make me start. I lay a sermon on you. Hi, loving the Diva Dash. Do you feel like you are where you are supposed to be in life? Yes. Every space that I'm at, even with this injury, is where I'm supposed to be, because there's a blessing and a lesson in every single thing. So I do feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be in life, and I know there's so much further to go, you know? This ain't it for the queen. This ain't it for the diva. Okay, cool. Do you have anything to say to younger Black gays finding their way? I love you down. Hi, sweetie pie. I love you right back. Do I have anything to say to younger Black gays finding their way? I have a lot to say. You know, I think the most important thing is free yourself from the spirit of comparison. And that's very hard because you're going to watch me on the internet. You're going to watch some of my peers on the internet. You're going to watch other people on the internet who are Black and gay and have a degree of success or notoriety or visibility and stuff. But there are so many layers to what people go through and what people have done to get to the space that they're at, to the things that people have done to accumulate the things that they have, you know. Run your race, pray. If you do believe, I don't want to, again, I said I'm not going to get preachy, but if you do believe, pray over every single thing. Pray over every time you encounter someone. Pray over every single encounter, every single person you come in contact with, you know, and keep yourself safe. Be diligent too about the things that you want, and be very, very, very directive. You know, be very directive. Like, okay, this is the life I want to lead. How am I going to get there? How am I going to show up as this person every single day? If I say I want to be an astronaut, I need to show up every single day like a person who is on their way to NASA. If I want to be like Scot Louie, okay, I'll use myself as an example. If I want to be like Scot Louie, I need to show up every single day that I feel like Scot Louie would show up. I need to do the things that I know Scot Louie would do and stay away from things that I know Scot Louie wouldn't do. Show up as the later version of yourself. Every single day, lay a brick towards that foundation, okay? Lay a brick every day towards who you want to be. Lay a brick every day to where you want to go in life. And most importantly, you know, don't don't box yourself in. Don't sit in one space, you know, whether it's romantically or career-wise, education-wise. Don't sit in one space. Cast your net as wide as possible, you know. Date as many people as you can. And dating is a sport, but also dating is a mind tool, okay? And this is for gay, straight, individual, whoever. You should always be dating. You should always be dating because you learn a lot about yourself during dating. You learn about the different versions of yourself during dating. And I'm using myself as an example. You know, as you date, you learn about the things that you do like now and what you don't like. You know, people are going to ask you questions that actually force you to think. You know, and it also helps you develop social skills. Dating helps condition your social skills. How to have conversations, how to keep conversation alive. You know, how to know, like, what are my hobbies? A person is gonna ask you, what are your hobbies? And you need to know what your hobbies are. What makes you excited? What makes you tick? You know, I could go off on a tangent, but that's my little bit of advice. You know, holla at me if you need some more. Okay, that was a great question. I really loved that. You know, Big Mama love to talk. Okay. Are you feeling fulfilled as a social media influencer? Diva. Hey boo. You know, it comes in waves. There are days, okay, the face tracking has now turned on and now she's following me everywhere I go. Okay, there are days, hold on, I need to turn this off because now she's looking at my titties. Stop. I don't like that. There are days where I do in fact feel fulfilled, more times than not, you know. However, even during this time, I've realized that while I have this injury and while God has sat me down, it has allowed me a lot of time to think about and reflect on how I appreciate the space, appreciate the opportunities I've been afforded, and show gratitude for them. You know, I do often feel fulfilled, but sometimes when we get into the routine and the rigmarole of doing things that sometimes feel mundane, I'm not going to say I can sometimes fall on lack of appreciation and, you know, just get into the routine where it's just like, okay, yeah, like, let's get it done. And yes, everything comes with a host of challenges and qualms, and sometimes it is frustrating and it is daunting, but I have to really think about if it were taken away from me tomorrow, I would actually miss it and I would want to go back to it. So I have to show up with an air of gratitude. And sometimes that isn't me being fulfilled, but when I think about it in retrospect, when I think about the bigger picture and the grand scheme of it, I am fulfilled. I'm fulfilled. It is a blessing to be able to show up as just myself and lend my POV, my voice, my time to whether it be my YouTube or to brands or whatever it is, you know, to events and partnerships, all kinds of things. That is a blessing and it is a gift. You know, I tweeted years ago, I just want to get paid to do me, and I'm really, truly getting paid to do me. So yes, it is fulfillment. This question says, what's one place you want to travel to you haven't yet? Girl, how much time you got, honey? How much time do you have, girl? I want to go to Cape Town. I want to go back to Australia. Actually, no, I don't. Let me take that back. I don't want to go back to Australia. Like, I'm just thinking about that flight. I would like to, like, in a perfect world, I would go back to Australia and be able to, like, experience Australia not as a stylist, but also just experiencing it as a traveler. I've been to a lot of places as a stylist where it's like my time is devoted to getting the project done and getting out. I want to experience a lot of places just as me. I would like to see Mexico City again. I really do want to go to Japan. And y'all know why I want to go to Japan. Sorry, my toenail just broke. Y'all know why I want to go to Japan. I would like to go to Shanghai. When I bang by, pop pills, now we Shanghai. I would love to go to Shanghai. I'd love to see a lot of Asia. I definitely need to go to Thailand. Y'all know Thai is my, why is this all the way over here? Thai is my favorite food. So you know I want to go to Thailand. I do want to go to the south of France and stay at Hotel du Cap. Okay. That's very specific. I want to go to the UAE. I've never been to the UAE ever. I've never been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, none of that. I would like to visit, but also at the same time, I know my mouth, so I'm scared to visit, you know? And I'm built like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got the boom boom pow. They might fuck around and think I'm a lady, you know? I might go in the pool, no top, nigga, like, oh my gosh, she got her titties out, put me in jail, you know? So, yeah. You need to know my last meal, no limits. Okay, bitch, I'm gonna give you the whole day, okay? Here's how this gonna go. We gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up 10 o'clock, right? Last meal, no limits. I'm gonna get peaches, okay? Peaches on Lewis. I'm gonna get a Jim K breakfast with the French toast, pork bacon, cheese grits, right? I'm gonna get the Brooklyn wings, and I'm gonna get the gumbo, right? Follow. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get a brownstone punch and a sweet tea. That's just breakfast, bitch. This is about to get huge, okay? Lock in with me. After y'all roll me out of that establishment, because I'm now a hog ready to be slaughtered, if I'm gonna have a lunch, where am I gonna have lunch? Bomba. What am I gonna eat for lunch? I know what I'm eating for dinner, but what am I gonna eat for lunch? What am I gonna eat for my lunch? Okay, you know what? Hold on, I might have a second breakfast. Because if after I eat peaches, I might wanna go Jamaican. So I'm gonna need fried dumpling, cornmeal porridge with enough nutmeg and enough condensed milk, okay? Ackee and saltfish, boiled dumpling and banana. And one little tubes of callaloo on the side with saltfish. Yeah, right? Oh, and then one dumpling, just one dumpling with a mega sink out. Boiled dumpling. One boiled dumpling with a mega sink out and like a kidney with extra gravy. Jesus! Kidney and extra gravy. Yeah. Then, if I could still eat a lunch, girl, this is so huge. This is just humongous. I'd probably get me like Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? 4 chicken wings fried hard. House special fried rice. Because I want everything now. House special fried rice. A little scoop of chicken and broccoli with a little gravy. Okay, boneless spare rib tips. Well done. Cool. Ooh, crispy garlic chicken. Crispy chicken and garlic sauce. Light sauce though, because it can't be saturated. It still needs to be crispy. With a little scoop of white rice. 2 pieces of broccoli. Okay, that's my lunch. Dinner time now? Bomba. Okay. I need half of the plate. Oxtail, rice and peas, cabbage, plantain. My mac and cheese though. Nobody else's. My mac and cheese with that, right? Gravy on the rice and a little bit of gravy on the mac and cheese, okay? On the next side of the plate, white rice, shell dung white rice. I talk nicest white rice, best white rice, full of flavor, scallion, everything. White rice. With stewed peas and a nuka pigtail, no chicken foot, stewed peas, right? On the next side of the plate, white rice, shell down white rice, 1 scoop of chicken foot, curry chicken foot, Jesus Christ, carrot and potato. Wow. For dessert, salted caramel ice cream, Talenti salted caramel ice cream, and then frozen yogurt from 16 Handles. Wait, and it needs to be half tart, half Tahitian vanilla. Okay, so a little bit of sweet, a little bit of, okay, cheesecake bites, yogurt, the yogurt chips, the little yogurt, what do you call them? The yogurt chips, right? Whatever those are. Cheesecake bites, strawberries, blueberries, and a little drizzle of caramel. At that point, I should be dead because I have eaten myself into oblivion. But if that's that's like my death row day. Like I'm eating to die. Yes. Okay. This question says, what's the perfect day in New York City? I'm gonna give you the single version and the non-single version, and I'm not male-centered, so don't even start. Okay. First of all, the single version, best day in New York City, it's a Sunday. We gonna wake up. I'm gonna take a walk. First things first, take a walk, get some vitamin D, right? Well, actually, I probably was out the night before. So I'm going to wake up probably a little hungover. I'm going to glam, go to brunch with my girls. We are going to have brunch, and it's going to be hair of the dog. Okay, so we're going to be drinking again. We are going to go to some form of rooftop, probably something in Williamsburg or Dumbo, you know, some form of like rooftop, keep the drinks flowing. From there, we're going to go to Tompkins. You know, maybe it's a Sunday, so maybe Tompkins block party, you know, do some flirting, do our 1-2. You know, by this point we should probably be a little bit hungry again, so maybe we get like some jerk chicken. Then we're gonna come to my house, I'm going to make everybody cocktails. We're going to freshen up, maybe watch like Housewives or something, you know, maybe have some crudité or light bites because, you know, we're not starving at this point, but we're having cocktails and freshening up, putting on perfume, touching up our makeup, things like that. Maybe put on a new outfit, and then we're going to end the night at Damballa because Moochie's playing, but we're going to get a section at Damballa. And that's just to have real estate, but we're still going to work the floor. And then, judging by how Damballa is, if it's not giving, then we're going to go uptown to Harlem and work a Harlem set, which that'll keep us out until 4 a.m. And then we're going to end the night with the chopped cheese and either go home alone or with somebody's son. Now, if I'm in a relation, we're going to wake up, we're going to play tennis, okay? Well, it depends, because if this is a Saturday, we're going to play tennis. If it's a Sunday, we're probably going to sleep in late. Wake up. Okay, we're going to have a slow Sunday. We're going to wake up. He's going to come in with matcha lattes. Because he knows how I like my matcha. He drinks coffee. I drink matcha, you know. Because that's for divas. Matcha's for divas. You ain't drinking a matcha. I'm just kidding. He can have a matcha. But yeah, we're going to either have matchas and he's going to have coffee, whatever, right? We're going to have a rendezvous. You know what I mean? It's Sunday morning, you know. We're going to have a rendezvous. Depending on what time we wake up, I would prefer we go to church. You know, if we don't make it to church and we're doing bedside Baptist, we have a rendezvous, do bedside Baptist, go to brunch. But I want to walk to brunch. I'm hoping it's somewhere close or we live somewhere in proximity. I'd like to walk to brunch. From brunch, I would like to maybe go to like some kind of outdoor farmer's market, some kind of outdoor flea, you know, or we could go buy me a new outfit. Right? Then we're gonna go, this reminds me of my ex. Then we're probably gonna go to like some kind of fish market or something, get some ingredients for me to cook dinner, you know, get a good bottle of wine or two, put that on chill, come home, put on our favorite playlist. I'm cooking, he's sitting at the bar, probably getting started on work for Monday or just watching me cook, yada, yada, yada. You know, or showing me TikToks, things like that while I'm prepping dinner. Dinner's getting done. After dinner's done, we watch Housewives because you're gonna watch Housewives either with me, you have to be my girlfriend and my boyfriend, or you're just gonna play along while I watch Housewives. And then we'll probably have our second rendezvous and call it a night. How does that sound? Fabulous, right? I love it. Scott, Scott, what is your advice? I'm assuming it's what is your advice on dating in your 20s? I'm 22 and I'm struggling bad. I love you so much. Love you right back, honey. First of all, you're 22. You should be having the time of your life, okay? I will use me. At 22, I was knee deep in a relationship and playing house and very much married. Like, we met when I was 21. We were together until I was 30. So, yeah. Don't do that. You know, especially if you know it's not going to land on its feet. But I will say, you're 22, honey. The world is your oyster at this present moment. You should be, if you are going to opt for dating apps, I really do feel like dating apps are for the second act of life, you know. Wow, that's loud. I feel like dating apps are for the second act of life. It's for the people who are kind of already established in their career, a little bit busier, you know, on the move, and, you know, kind of need to simplify dating. I don't really think when you're in your 20s and, you know, you're fresh out of college and you're just now experiencing life, you should be in the field. You should be going out to happy hours, going out to bars, going out alone, going out with your girls, going to the club, going to bookstores, you know, like, you should be outside in the field. You are young and able-bodied, I'm assuming. You should be outside having a good time and being flirty and, you know, talking and, you know, listen to How to Pimp a Nigga by City Girls. Rule number 1. And I'm just kidding. But actually you should listen to How to Pimp a Nigga by City Girls. Outside of that, just be in the field. Be outside. Have a good time. I don't know where you are in proximity. If you're in New York is never dead. You know, I know people be like, oh my God, summer's about to end. Girl, New Yorkers be outside in the fall. New Yorkers be outside in a blizzard, bitch. Like, please. New York is never dead. So if you are in New York City, be outside. Trust me, you never know where your next lesson is hiding. Girl, you can meet your man at Whole Foods. I've met men at the gas station looking toe up. Okay? Granted, we don't need to talk about that, but it was great. Okay, this question is a two-parter. Just adding in, I like Just adding in, like, I literally have been all around the world, and Scott, I'm struggling. Like, okay. You know, this sounds like we need to have like a one-on-one therapy session. Okay, so I'm gonna send you my Calendly. I'm just kidding, I don't have one of those. But no, there's someone out there for everybody. Cast your net wide. If you feel like you're not meeting people in the field, then maybe, okay, opt for the dating apps. Like, cast your net as wide as possible. Talk to your friends. Who's in your network? Like, girl, you can't fix me up with somebody? Like, girl, you such a useless bitch. You're supposed to be my best friend. One of your coworkers me and him don't be a good match? Like, what's tea? You know, like, talk to your community, go to church. You just never know. You never know. But be proactive. But also, yes, be proactive. You know what I'm going to say. You know where I'm going to take it. Okay? Get on those hands and knees. Because there could also very well be a reason why right now in this stage in your life, God does not want you to have a partner. Okay? Maybe you are not quite prepared for it. Maybe this person maybe God is still preparing your partner for you. So just, before anything else, pray. And, okay, what is it? Seek first the kingdom, and all things will be added to you. So seek first the kingdom, and then we go from there. Okay? But also, put yourself out there. Smile. What did she say to help? Smile. Show a little gumption. Oh, this is a 3-part question. Every time I think I'm like, okay, I find one and I always get a sign or bamboozled. Oh, honey. You know, I'm not a licensed therapist by any means. But what I will say is this. Maybe that could be a portion of what it is. Maybe it is time that we talk to a therapist, you know? And maybe we need to not go for our type, you know? Fuck my time. What did she say? I'm trading it all for a good life. Yeah, maybe you need, like I said, cast your net wider. Try something that's out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? If you always go for the black guy, go for the Asian, okay? Go for the mashallah guy. Go for the Middle Eastern guy. Okay, mashallah, girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go for the Espanol. Okay, hola, hola. Like, you know, give it a try. Okay, girl, that's a 4-part question. I have a degree. I'm well-dressed, well-spoken, head-on straight, like, diva, what? Yes, girl. Okay, like I said, go for the, cast your net wide. What advice would you give an overthinking Capricorn who's a perfectionist on making content? You know, I feel like I've answered this before on a TikTok live, but I always love answering this because here's my thing. I know we live in this era where we see everybody doing content and some people are having success with it, some people are not. My thing for you is this. What's the reason you want to do content? Because yes, there is money to be made, but that's not always guaranteed. You have to be willing to do it for free. You have to be willing to do it for free before anything else. You have to be willing to do it for free. Is there a passion behind the content you're making? Is there, or is this just, I want free product and notoriety and money. I want to get brand deals, you know? Before you even decide to do content, what are you offering the space? If I leave your video, what am I leaving with? What am I learning? Am I entertained? Am I educated? Have I learned a new hack? What are you going to lend the landscape when you do content? That's 1. 2, I would say though, if you know you have a strong POV and it's something that you're really passionate about and you're like, no, I want to do this. I've been wanting to do this. I see other people doing it. Then there should be nothing hindering you from getting out there and doing it. And you have to be okay with failing. Too many people are wanting to show up perfect. Too many people are wanting to be super pristine and, you know, over analytical and critique everything. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to look a mess. You know what I'm saying? The people who are willing to get out there and make mistakes and grow in front of you, those are the ones who find success. And before anything else, consistency. That's the reason why you have to be willing to fail, because you're not going to start at A. You're not going to start. The elevator does not start at the penthouse. You have to start from the ground level. You have to build. In order to get to the penthouse, you have to start at 1. So put it out there. Test the audience. Test the market. Try things. Keep trying again. I have friends who are bigger content creators than me. And they're like, I don't want to do X type of content anymore. I want to do this type of content. And you do it so freely and so easily. And I'm like, yes, I do that type of content. But if you notice my content, it's very diverse. Okay. I'm going to give you shopping hauls, get ready with me's vlog. I'm going to give you a television review, and I'm still going to do my makeup. I do 6 types of content, and there is something for everyone. And that is me personally still testing the market, because there are times where I'm like, okay, my makeup videos are not doing well, but people love to hear me talk. So I'm going to do my makeup videos and talk. You see what I'm saying? Test the market. Test the audience. Try to couple some things. You know, if you want to talk about dinosaurs, but people want to see your Birkins, take dinosaurs out of your Birkin, girl. You know what I mean? Like, maybe couple your content. But before anything else, you have to get in the field, because the creator economy is valued at billions of dollars at this point. So you either go on, get out there and get some of this money and get some of these opportunities and really hone your craft and get better, or you can ride the sidelines and be a viewer. There's something for everyone. This question says, will there be a dating edit? I don't know if I would give dating a full edit, but there's always dating in my life. You know what I'm saying? There's always dating in my content. You know, like, I love. Y'all are gonna... it's so funny because I can close my eyes and envision it. Like, when I do finally get married and I'm walking down the aisle with my roses down the aisle. When you feel lonely, pick up your phone and phone me. Like, I really actually want to have a section at my wedding for the divas who've been riding with me from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, like, we besties from socials. Like, you've been riding with me since I was with X, and, you know, we broke up, and then I got with this one, and we broke up too, and then now here I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm married, like, I found a one, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all was here, y'all was shooting me in the gym, you know? So, yeah, there won't be a dating edit, but there will always be dating interjected in my content, because this is my real life. And when I am, you know, married, and when my legs is in the stirrups and the doctor is telling me push, y'all gonna be like, oh my God, bitch, I was here from the beginning. You know? So yeah. Ooh, this is a good one. Do you mix friend groups? You know, I've always loved a diverse group of friends, okay? And I've always loved the idea of, like, having all of my friends together and all of my friends over. And there's a time and place to have your friends mesh and interject. And there's times where you have to keep some bitches over here and some bitches over there, because, you know, that personality is not necessarily going to mesh with that personality, and I don't want to have to deal with it. So my answer to that would be time and place, darling. Time and place. Would you cut off a person you consider a best friend for lying on you unprovoked? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you're not my best friend. Why are you lying on me? For what? What would motivate you to do such a thing? Absolutely. You're out of here, bitch. I cut bitches off for less. Okay? Because I will tell you this. You don't need to have people in your life where you have to look over your shoulders. And, like, question their character, question their love for you, question their loyalty to you. If you have to look over your shoulders at a bitch, you better off not having her there. Girl, you gonna fuck up your neck. How would you suggest someone adjust moving to New York in their early 20s? The first thing you need to understand is New York is not for the faint of heart. I think people have glamorized New York a lot. I think we currently live in TikTok's version of New York. I think people have this idea that you're going to come here and be Carrie Bradshaw. You're going to come here and, you know, go to pop-up bagels and get your matcha, and it's just going to be so easy. No, you have to work. Like, New York is not a place where you can pump fake. New York is gonna beat your ass, okay? Like, New York is not for the faint of heart. It challenges the best of us, and I say this all the time. No matter how rich you are in New York is still an inconvenient city, because even when you leave the penthouse, when you leave the top floor, you have to come down and you have to interact with New York, and just getting around New York is inconvenient, even for the richest. Even for the richest, it is inconvenient to just get around in New York. So you have to armor yourself with a different level of strength before you come here. I would also say you really need to cultivate a community coming here, because as fun and as alive as New York is, much like any other metropolitan city, you can feel very lonely here if you don't have community, if you don't have someone to hang with and go out with. And yes, you know, you can go out by yourself, and I always advise going out alone because you do learn a lot about yourself traveling alone and eating alone and going to movies alone. But it is also a place where you're going to want to have community because you're going to see friend groups. You're going to see people outside. You're going to go out and see a group of 10 bad bitches who don't speak and have their nose tilted up to the sky. Trust. Okay? Much like Los Angeles, you will also find that here in New York. So I would highly advise cultivating a bit of community. Do I ever experience imposter syndrome as a creator? I don't. And you know the reason being is because I show up as me. Nails needing to be done, hair needing to be cut, you know, hiding under my wrap. You know, I show you the good, bad, and the ugly. I show you me hobbling around on my crutches. I show you when it's good. I show you when it's bad. So I don't really hold no fear of, you know, me being an imposter or like this is not the life I'm meant to lead and stuff. Everything I show and everything I do is by design, you know, like this is who I am. I'm just a product of God. So when God tells me to cut the cameras, then the camera's getting cut, you know, so. Oh, and we have reached the final question. Would you make a second cookbook? You know, I absolutely would. And this time it would be so different. Like I mentioned earlier, even in this video, like my first cookbook did not make the New York Times bestseller list. And honestly, at the time I was poorly managed. I also was very green. I didn't know what it took to make a book a success. I didn't know, especially a cookbook, you know, I thought it was just like, okay, I'm going to have a cookbook and all the people who watch my videos are going to buy my book. And it's like, no, a lot of people watch cooking content but don't cook. A lot of people enjoy the softness in my voice but aren't willing to go into the kitchen. I've had a lot of people tell me, I watch your cooking videos to fall asleep, you know, because it's just so soothing and calming. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. But they're like, I don't know how to cook, you know. So, you know, what I've learned is it does take a lot to convert viewers into customers. And it also takes a lot of visibility to move a cookbook. And I've also learned that a cookbook is a very slow burn, you know. The units I've sold after being eligible for the list would have made me eligible for the list, if that makes sense. So there's a window in which you have to sell a certain amount of units of the book within a certain period to make the New York Times bestseller list. Those units were sold after I was eligible for the list. So, thank God. But yes, a cookbook is a very slow burn. And if you're not someone, say, a, you know, Wishbone Kitchen or what's the girl, Cassie Young, who, you know, who chops the garlic and she's, you know, the cute Asian girl. And, you know, there's a lot of big creators who their books do really, really well because they have big audiences who are really locked in and who only know them for cooking. I am so very layered and I touch so many boxes. So it's like, oh, I don't need to buy Scot Louie's cookbook, I bought his t-shirt, you know, or I don't need to buy his t-shirt, I bought his cookbook, or I bought his spices, or I watch him on YouTube, that's all I'm here for, you know. And I welcome that. I welcome that because I give a lot to people. But the next time I have a cookbook, it's gonna be stupid crazy. And I already have the concept for my next book done, how it's gonna be done, how I'm going to do said book and make it, you know, a digital, visual, audio situation. Like, my next cookbook is going to go stupid crazy, out of this world. So I don't know when that opportunity will come. I will tell you guys I did have an option for a second cookbook. It just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. It was not right. And I released the offer. So yeah. But when the time comes, the way I need it to be done. Also, what I've learned too is you need to have your own money when you have a cookbook, because I didn't invest $1 into Tastemaker. I didn't know that I had to, if that makes sense. You know, it was just like, oh, I have publishers now. I have an editor. Like, you know, it's kind of like having a record deal. You know, they'll put up the capital and, you know, whatever the book sells, they'll do the promotion. They'll do all of that because whatever the book sells, I'll recoup after. You know, so it's just like play the longer game. However, no, because what I want is not only the accolades, but I want my book to be a success. I want my book to be a success because it took me so long, and I tested all of these recipes, and I sat and I wrote all of these recipes, and I want you to understand the beauty and the joy that is every single recipe, every single cocktail, every single sauce, every single meal that I tell you, oh, go make this sauce to go with said meal. It's on page 86. Here's the recipe on page 17. Make these together and drink it with this cocktail. It's a whole culmination of things. But 1, reading is fundamental. 2, the mind doesn't work like that. And 3, we are very, very, very visual people. It's a new day for a cookbook. So yes, I would have a cookbook, but it's going to be totally different, honey. So yeah. Anyway, guys, we have neared the end of this week's Diva Dash. This is the finale of season 1 of Diva Dash. I am so happy that we had this moment together. More importantly, we have gone through so much. I had hair, I don't have hair. I had mobility in my knee, I'm in between mobility right now. You know, we have traveled, we have drank, we have had wings and hookah, nights out, tears, laughter. This has been a wonderful 21 episodes to 21 more. And I can't wait to see y'all for season 2. But while I'm in this in-between phase and in-between stage and figuring out, you know, surgery and the knee and stuff, I am going to take a little bit of a pause on Diva Dash. But I wanted to at least round off with something and a proper see you later, not goodbye. So, like I say every time, my light just died, so it's really time to wrap it up. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for spending season 1 of Diva Dash with me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your well wishes and your prayers. And I will see you guys soon. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe because more videos are coming. More Diva Dash is coming. And I'll see you guys next time.
I don't even know what version of you I'm supposed to believe anymore. Like, you were so different when we first met, and now you're just like